Let's podcast alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovies. We are not inside Eford Studios in downtown Raleigh. We are uptown Charlotte for ACC Kickoff. Got a lot to get into today, Joe.
Yes, we do, including one of my favorite interviews of all time.
I didn't even have a chance to set up the Jimbo Fisher. It just started.
He mentioned how difficult it was to play at Carter Finley Stadium.
Yeah.
Their own version of a butt fumble from 2010. And then, of course, the game in 2012, Jake Jams. How does one, as someone who has followed NC State for all this time? And then, of course, I forgot about the following year after the win in 12, after State win in 12.
Yeah.
He had a murder ball machine. He had a war machine that absolutely pasted NC State to the point where he ran a fake punt up 42-0 in the second quarter. And you'll get the reason for it. And it was priceless.
So essentially what's happening when you get to ACC Kickoff and you get to talk to former coaches or current coaches, it's essentially Caleb Wilson at Summer League, right? So with game 2, they shut down DeBasta, right? But Caleb's still playing. Yep. And here's the money quote.
I mean, I feel like I'm different than all of them. Like, I can't say they don't enjoy basketball, but like I enjoy basketball. Like, I love this shit. So I mean, I'm going.
I love this shit.
We will have a new addition to the soundboard.
I love this shit. How can you not love that dude, man?
I mean, seriously.
How can you not love that guy? But yes, you love this shit, and we got a full show today. Chip Patterson's going to drop on by here in a second to kind of go over just the big picture for the ACC. We'll workshop what the actual storylines coming out of ACC Kickoff are. Then Dave Doeren's going to sit down. NC State head coach is going to join us. We got bourbon for him. Be curious to see what he picks.
Yep.
CJ Bailey and his teammates will be dropping by. Michael Strickland, who is the commissioner for football. He's the vice president of ACC. Yeah, he's the commissioner for football.
We did a little myth busting with Michael Strickland.
So we got tiebreakers to break down, and yes, a little bit of myth busting to get to, which I thought was good. That. And then yes, we've got our Jimbo Fisher conversation. And then, Canes news never stops. We got some Canes things to get into as well, whether it's an interesting column out of Portland regarding Tom Dundon and, talking about I live for this shit, 5 p.m. season opener.
Let's go.
In September.
Let's go.
Like, what is happening right now? But I do want to start with ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips at his State of the ACC Commissioners Forum today. And I thought there were 2 moments in the hour that broke out for me. And these 2 clips illustrate how comfortable Jim has gotten with the job. It's at a point now with Phillips where he knows what the ACC is. He knows the current state of things. You always like to refer to him as a true believer.
Yeah.
You are Han Solo to his Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. You're into this ancient hokey religion of college sports. And Jim's a true believer in that whole thing. But what I thought was interesting, he got a question from David Hale of ESPN, who covers the ACC. In regard, a lot of the questions were surrounding the Save College Sports Act and all, the Big Ten and the SEC wanting to do their own thing and whatnot. And I thought his response to David Hale saying, look, the SEC and the Big Ten, they want it one way. They're even talking about self-governance. And I thought this was a really good line from Jim Phillips.
As far as, was it breaking away or something? Is that what you said? Self-governance. Self-governance to me means no governance.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a bar. Okay. And also, as Spencer Hall joked when I put out that quote, he's like, welcome to the resistance, comrade. As we're talking about no governance, what do you think you're going to be self-governed, right? Yeah. But he is right. They always talk about the governance and structure and whatnot. We're going to go do our own thing. The SEC and the Big Ten, specifically the SEC, what they miss is, so who's going to be your boogeyman when you're the one making the rules? You have a boogeyman right now. You have the other conferences. You have the NCAA. You have all these other things going on. And the other thing to kind of illustrate the point about where Jim Phillips is right now and how he's just comfortable with the role and he knows what the ACC is and he knows what he's trying to get through was in relation to congressional means to stop certain things in college athletics. And there was this provision about or at least it was floated about, what was it, a freeze on realignment, expansion, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's not going to fly. I mean, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. But in relation to the question about would you support like a freeze on college realignment, I thought Phillips' answer was very, very good.
I've always wanted this conference to be a place where schools want to be, not that they have to be. So I'll leave it at that. I feel very good about what we've done over the course of the last 5.5 years. We strengthened ourselves, during that time of movement, conference expansion with 3 great schools and 2 new markets. And so, again, I want people to want to be in the ACC, not forced to be in the ACC.
I thought that was a really good answer. I thought that piggybacks off of last summer when you've got Florida State and Clemson suing to get out of the league. Eventually, they do settle on whatever the arrangement they had. Off the top of my head, I can't remember it, but they settle on this arrangement. It all kind of points to 2030. To wrap this up, you saw Brett Yormark last week, Big 12 commissioner, fumble his way through thinking he had something with his Monster energy drink rebrand. He couldn't answer questions about Sorsby. He tried to bully a reporter. Whatever you think about how the reporter brought up the question, he went through classic bully tactics to get out of answering any sort of questions like that. To Phillips' credit, man, he'll answer the questions. You might not like the answers, but he'll answer them. And it's coming from a place that he truly believes for the betterment of college athletics. The SEC and the Big Ten be damned. Greg Sankey can have a meltdown over, I still think 3-loss teams should be in and all these other things. I don't even know what the Big Ten stands for anymore. But all that being said, when you kind of look at, and this is coming from somebody who was critical early on with Jim Phillips, as the job has evolved and he has a better idea of what this is all about, he's handled himself very, very well the last 2 summers.
And I think a lot of he's gaining momentum in terms of his ideas are taking hold, and these schools are embracing them, right? Like one thing, if we get a chance to talk to him this week, I'm super curious about where the Amazon Duke deal came from.
Yeah.
And not just in terms of an ESPN ACC dynamic, but of the other schools. So we've already heard in our conversations today about Notre Dame playing a basketball game in the Vatican, right? We've already heard about in basketball, NC State and North Carolina are going to play a game in Greensboro. That once those details come out with the state budget, you're going to see it's an improvement for both of those schools. There's a financial reason for both of those schools, and it's going outside of the deal with the ACC network. And even though the game's going to be on ESPN, they're still going outside of the ACC network to make the deal get done because it's not a quote unquote home game, which is what we've seen Duke do, right? So I think there's a lot of room for creativity. I think those schools are embracing that. The Success Initiative, I think the schools have embraced that, to be perfectly honest with you. Clemson and Florida State are the ones that push for it. They're not the ones who have benefited from it.
No, they are not.
You know what I mean? Like we saw these numbers. Georgia Tech, as you've mentioned, was one of those schools. They played 2 gigantic games 2 seasons ago. One to open the season against Florida State, one to close the regular season against Georgia. They popped giant numbers. And even though Georgia Tech didn't make the playoff, didn't make a major bowl, didn't really have anything to write home about other than these 2 giant TV numbers, which helped them.
You're onto something when other conferences who always act as though they're the ones leading the way are looking at the ACC and something like the Success Initiative, something that I initially did not like. Okay. I was on record for not liking this. And you're starting to see, actually, this might benefit. It might have some unintended consequences, like you mentioned, Georgia Tech, getting an ability to benefit from these things that don't necessarily result in you showing up in a championship game. But hey, man, you pop some big numbers and you're going to get some money for it. And now suddenly the big boy schools of the other conferences going, so why am I sharing all this money with Indiana?
Rutgers.
Because it's not like they're like Indiana just kicked our ass, but we get better ratings than them. So what are we going to do here? So these are things to keep in mind.
I think he used the words today. You eat what you kill.
Yes.
He's right. He's right. I don't know what other way to put it and what other way these schools would want it. Now, if you're Boston College, you're going, okay, this isn't a great deal for me. Or you're Wake Forest, as we've seen them dip in some of their revenue metrics. Okay, well, then you have to put the investment in to make it worth your while so that you get a piece of it. I don't know. I don't know what other people would want out of that.
So we got a full show again, like I said, with the ACC kickoff shows. They're going to be a little bloated, but we had a lot of things to do today. We had a lot of things to do today. So let's continue it with Chip Patterson. To continue some big picture, big storylines about the ACC from the Cover 3 podcast, CBS Sports, Chip Patterson hanging out with us. We are not inside Eford Studios.
No.
We just need Leanne for quorum, and then we're good to go.
Then we can talk about what's happening next door. Are they shredding documents? I don't even know. It gets wild around Eford, boys. Let me tell you. It is. I'm very, very excited to be here. As we've discussed in other summers, ACC has been jammed up against Big Ten, so I haven't been able to get here. So it's awesome that all 4 conferences are spread out where everyone gets a week, and so you see the traveling circus. As I'm during the Commissioners Forum, I'm sitting next to my friend Brett McMurphy, who I worked with him 14 years ago. So you get to catch up with him. It's good.
I guess we can start this conversation with a continuation of praise for the ACC. I feel like the ACC doesn't get a lot of praise nationally. It's fine. I understand it. I gave some props to Jim Phillips and how he handled the ACC Commissioners Forum today. But also props to the ACC for picking this week. Do I give him too much credit for picking this week, the day after the All-Star game, the deadest rest of the week in the sports calendar, to do your media days?
I got to know what the conflict was with the Southeastern Conference, because in my mind, it's always around the home run derby around there. So it could have been a booking thing. Who knows? We have not seen the conferences work together on anything. If there was any amount of, this is what Jim Phillips, PhD, MD, is selling himself as, is the ultimate collaborator. You know, and he's somebody.
Even if they've burned him in the past, I looked him in the eyes with my alliance.
He's the mediator. He's the collaborator. It's my father used to say he knew he had done a good job when both sides were mad. I feel like that's where Jim Phillips is with a lot of these big picture topics, is he knows that nobody in that big room is going to be happy, but he's trying to be able to guide a sensible consensus. And that was, he had confidence up there. He had good things to say. They were in a stable position, just waiting for some other big chess pieces before they have any movement or in terms of knowing what the future's going to be.
Maybe it has something to do with age. I don't know. Maybe Jim Phillips has grown into the role as commissioner, and then me highlighting the fact that I'm nearing 50, and you just kind of look at things differently. And I feel like a lot of the ACC's problems would be solved if they just were cool with being third. Somebody's got to be third. You're not going to be the SEC. You're not going to be the Big Ten. He could be the Big 12. Right?
But you're not, because look at these revenue numbers, and that's what they're coming out there.
So there's nothing wrong with being third.
Their television numbers are always going to be better.
Yeah.
Whenever they have to sign a new contract, they will get more money out of that contract. So that's the thing is, you would say it would solve the problems. That's where someone who is a little bit more ACC inclined would say, we don't really have problems.
No, there's no problems.
There are things. Well, hold on. There was a problem. I do think the tiebreaker thing was them at least being able to roll out. Have you gotten into this yet?
So have they? We're scheduled to talk to Michael Strickland, who's the commissioner for football. I guess we can kind of get into it with him a little bit more when he sits down. But are they trying to act like a 1-loss team and a 2-loss team would be technically tied? Am I reading that right?
If they have the same number of wins. Because you can never know what's in mythical box number 9.
This is true.
If you only play 8 games, are we pulling out Miami or Stanford? And it's like that wild card proposition is a little strange. But ultimately, the idea that we are working our way, all of the different tiebreaker changes funnel into a power rating tiebreaker. Yeah. And I'm okay with that. That is going to put, I know that we shouldn't let power ratings decide the college football playoff, because then why even play the games? Mm-hmm. But if we are literally splitting ties among the best teams in the conference, it is good for the ACC. It is good for college football that Miami not get left out of the ACC championship game and thus left out of the college football playoff.
The power rating, let's create a new net, because that works so well.
Oh, yeah.
Let's create a new RPI, because that works so well for so many years. It could never be gamed.
No, but sure. But you know what? It can be gamed by running up the score on uncovering the spread against opponents.
Yeah. Hey, man, if they came out with a formula, which I somehow doubt they will, then I'll be more in favor of it, to actually see what the input is, to your point. We still have college basketball coaches going, now, do we need to win by 12? Do we need to win by 20? Do we need to win by 30? me.
So I think it's similar to what Sports Source Analytic has done for the Mountain West. And Mountain West has had to do the beep, beep, boop, boop. Here's who's playing in each of the last 2 seasons. So it's the Sunday after the final regular season Saturday. Mountain West fans are sitting there, and it's either going to be a Utah State, a Boise State, or a Fresno State. And we just got to see what the computer spits out. Yeah. I think that's what we are going to. And usually Boise State, the team with the most talent, the team with the best power rating, ends up being one of the schools that wins that.
I want to say this. I want to go back a half a step so that when we're watching this in 2031, if I make it to 2031, we don't sit back and laugh at ourselves for saying there's nothing wrong with the ACC. They don't have any problems other than the fucking asteroid that's headed towards the ACC, and that's going to fucking destroy it in 3 years.
But that's
other than that,
that's going to destroy a lot of people. And I guess that's where I'm at, where you find peace in like the impending doom of it all, because there are teams. And Chip, I know this is something you guys talk about on Cover 3 a lot. It's like, why are we acting like Vanderbilt's going to have a place at the table?
Yeah.
Why are we acting like, Indiana? I mean, there might be some people who are like, no, screw you guys, you new money people out here ruining it for everybody. Thanks, Signetti. Like, there's this idea that the SEC as it stands is going to stay that way in whatever that asteroid you're talking about is coming. So it's not the ACC per se. There's a lot of schools who are going to find out real quick where they stand in 2031 if it goes a certain way.
Yeah, I think that one thing that's come out of the last couple of weeks, and again, we are just getting started in terms of the conversations that are being had and the insights you're able to pick up, but the pushback within college sports and within the academic community against all private equity involvement, it started with Michigan and USC, throwing a fit over...
LSU's out here doing a pyramid scheme, last I checked.
But there's enough...
Have you seen what they're going to do?
But I'm saying the pushback from USC, from Michigan, from other places, I think speaks to the idea that all of these super leagues that are backed by private equity with the power, everyone's got a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
We have obtained the slides of the Super League model.
The deck.
Oh yeah, the DEK.
Yeah.
I think that those realities are less likely. The last 2 weeks, the conversations I've had, I think the idea that we're going to blow up all of college sports and start something from scratch, which every message board poster would love to do. They love doing that. But I think it's going to be a little bit more status quo.
Fair.
And if we see another round of realignment, that is the healthy ecosystem of college sports doing what it does every 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
A couple of pieces move around on the board.
Yeah, but the current model truly is not sustainable. Financially, it's not sustainable.
Oh, you're speaking specifically to the players' salaries they are demanding and the cost of rosters. That's fair.
Everything can't just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up.
I don't have
without collective bargaining, and Jim is a true believer. That is what he is.
Always has been.
And there's nothing fake about him standing up there and saying we need to do things for the greater good of college sports. Totally and completely believe him in every fiber of his body that he believes that. But it's, the answer's there in front of them, and they don't want to take the answer, which is making them employees and collectively bargaining. That's the only way to solve this. Like, even the NFL had to say, hey guys, we can't just pay you and let you move at will because of the court losses that you will always incur. Again, if Kavanaugh, of all people, is out here telling you your system is completely broken, well, then guess what? Your system is completely broken. So that's the only thing that I see when I hear him make the comments that he did at the end of the forum about, hey, we need this, we need to be saved, and we need this, and I'm just kind of like, there's the answers out there for you, and I know it's not as easy as I'm saying it, but ultimately they have to have collective bargaining.
It almost seems easier than getting involved with DC. That almost seems easier than getting involved with legislatures. And those guys get voted out. These are things that happen, and sentiment changes. So that's all.
There's a lot of things that I think need to happen for college sports, and we don't need to get into all those today. But
that's the other thing is, I will say that Media Days does remind you when you see the players walking around, it's like,
they don't care.
Who cares about the 2031? CJ Bailey, you know what he's worried about? He's worried about this season right here.
Speaking of which,
but you have to save college sports from itself, and that is this transient nature that we've been talking about. You grew up in Raleigh. You knew Clemson's roster forward and backwards. You knew Georgia Tech, Maryland. You knew all the players. Not just Carolina and Duke and State. Right. You knew all the players. We don't even know. we had one of our ESPN network, ACC network guys come up and say, hey, this defensive end that NC State got, we both looked at him like,
sure.
Who? What do you mean?
It was
how
more,
do you know?
It was more of an attitude of, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
And you know everybody because you have like this computer brain, speaking of the beep, beep, boop, boop. You're the only one who knows the Texas Tech third string receivers now at, this college is going to.
I'll tell you what, if
It's
Michael
just bad.
Hudson puts talent to production, we are going to see some.
It's just bad for the sport. And I saw it this basketball season going to the games being like, well, who are these guys?
Yeah.
What connection do you have to these guys?
Yeah.
And maybe I'm wistful already for Caleb Wilson and the Caleb Wilsons of the world.
Oh, jeez.
But
I don't know if it's good or bad. I actually think that it is a really interesting coaching skill that has been unveiled that we should be judging our coaches by, which is your portal evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of top 40 teams, like top half of power conference teams that, for example, have a secondary totally rebuilt through the portal, and the only way that they're going to be any fucking good is if they can coach. If they can
Careful.
evaluate talent and if they can coach.
Careful, you're treading into Big 12 waters of, maybe the College Football Playoff Committee should judge roster budgets when accounting for wins and losses.
That was broke boy attitude.
That is such a broke boy attitude. Again, you could. That gets back to my central thesis. You could be the Big 12.
Hey, listen, and again, it is good for us to hear these things so we can laugh them out of the room and remember that life is good over here.
All right, now let's get to, like you said, you see the players walking around, you see the coaches here, you're like, oh, yeah. These are all things that can wait, solving college football, like when the season actually starts, let's go.
Fun season.
And that's the thing. So I was trying to rank the storylines coming out of ACC Kickoff. So let's do this as a family, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's rank these things. We'll go top 5 and then some honorable mentions, right? Story number 1's got to be James Franklin, right? At Virginia Tech.
I think it's Miami.
I think it's Miami and Mensa.
Okay.
Yeah.
In what sense?
I think it's Miami and Mensa. Duke won the league last year.
Yes.
And you just
took his quarter.
That did look good.
Yeah, and they piped. Listen, who am I to defend Duke? Who am I with a straight face to sit here and have empathy for Duke?
Okay.
But they absolutely piped Duke by taking Mensa at the point in the calendar
it's the
when
calendar.
they took him.
And Barcate.
Yeah, and then, by the way, give me this guy too. And it's like, guys, you can't have Dabo calling out Ole Miss
and
getting yourself in a fury over that interference.
But I think that's a piece of Miami. I think that's why you just have to say Miami
in
general, because you're also talking about they are carrying the conference's reputation on their back in the national scene the way that old Dabo teams did.
Yes.
And the way that Florida State, when they were running hot, would. It's like the ACC will be judged on how Miami looks.
And Miami's layered, too, because just like Duke has figured out this NIL world, Miami, for the wilderness that they went in, from the time Butch Davis left to the time Manny Diaz was unceremoniously fired.
And your Nevin Shapiro crap.
Right, all the things that they went through,
Yeah.
they have finally figured it out. Like, they're back to being not the U necessarily, but they're back to being a major player in college football. And that's a great thing for the ACC. It's not a great thing for the ACC that they're using these other schools in the ACC as their farm system.
But we see this on a smaller scale, right? Like, who's the kid, the running back from Carolina that was going to state?
Davion Gauss.
Gauss, right? Like, we see that. I mean, we got Gio Lopez. Like, hey man, this ain't working out for me at UNC.
I don't like the music in the locker room.
I'm out. So I'm gonna go get built in the darkness with Dickert.
I do think Miami is your top 8. There's a lot of layers to Miami.
They were the national runner-up last year.
And they're talented as fuck.
And they lost to a Cuban. How dare they?
Yeah.
So
in a game they should have won.
They had the ball with a chance to win.
To your point, what makes Mensa different is at the point in the year where it happened.
Yeah.
That's where things, and there was like lawsuits and stuff. Like we talked to Dave McKenzie about this stuff all when it happened. All right, so Miami Mensa got it. All right, number 1. Then James Franklin? Or are we getting into the, crossroads time for the 2 previous powers in the league, as you mentioned, Clemson and Florida State?
I think Norvell's on the front there just because Norvell's also going to have to play Alabama and SMU in the first. Yeah. in the first 4 games of the season.
Florida State, Mike Norvell's status is, I've been kind of joking about this with people. It's like, is Dave going to find himself as the one being the reaper as we get towards the end of the year?
They've got an off week in the 24th of October where if they go into that off week 2-5 or 3-4, might be 9-9. Who knows? I mean, I don't know what the appetite is to carry through the function of actually firing him. Because
but the thing is, they're not even they're not even backing Norvell with money, because if you look at Florida State's expenditure, they're in the middle of the pack as it relates to the ACC, which is not what you want out of Florida State.
Do you know what they did do? They opened a new facility, because you know how facilities win games.
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's 2026. We're talking facilities.
Great time to open this new facility.
Florida State punted on this season when they didn't fire Mike Norvell last season.
I agree.
And their immediate future. Clemson did the same, by the way. You know me, I'm still defending Doug Peterson to Eagles fans about how they shouldn't have fired the guy who won them the Super Bowl.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, Clemson should have moved on from Dabo Swinney after last year. They should have.
Well, unlike Norvell, Dabo's earned a little bit more runway for those types of things. But
there's nothing about Dabo that suggests he's going to change and adapt.
We will see that.
There's nothing that says he's going to do that.
We will see that in the course of the season, how they play out with the quarterback. Okay, because they didn't bring the guy who'd been sitting behind Klubnik to this event, which is telling, don't you think?
Sure. Look, this is
and there's this hot freshman that, hey, if I'm looking at the schedule, you don't want him out of the gate early. You don't want to stick him because they play LSU, right?
Yeah, in Death Valley.
You don't want to do that with a freshman, but I could see them coming home to their Death Valley and seeing North Carolina on the other end and going, all right, go see what you can do.
So right now, there's a breakup that's causing a lot in the social scene, right?
Yeah.
You know how sometimes a couple breaks up and they both just trash the other one, and then you just end up with this funny thing? There was an offensive coordinator who, since being dismissed, is telling everybody, is like, that guy doesn't get it. And there's a head coach who was like, this offensive coordinator didn't want to come be a part of us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think bringing back Chad Morris is a huge storyline for the Clemson arc.
Agree.
And that you don't have to be Trevor. You can be Taj Boyd.
You could be Kelly Bryant.
And look, because when you've got Bryant Wesco and you've got TJ Moore and you've got Tristan Smith, you just need to be Taj Boyd.
Yeah.
And he was elevated by a wide receiver room and Chad Morris. So that is my pitch. Second thing here, 9 NFL draft picks, 7 regular season wins. That was a group of players and upperclassmen that fell short of expectations from the moment they set foot on campus. I guess Cade won an ACC championship game his very first season. But is there, I'm not going to say addition by subtraction, but just a cloud of just like some freedom, some loosening.
I got you.
Now that you've got some new blood stepping into those positions. I mean, guys like Peter Woods, guys like TJ Parker, they played a lot. They played a lot of football early. Cade Klubnik played early, and now they're all gone. And they were a huge disappointment, one of the biggest ones in the country. So I'm with you that they're like holding Dabo to the fire and seeing how the Chad Morris decision goes is totally fair. I just am on the more optimistic side in terms of the chances that they could level off. I mean, Clemson is way closer to getting back in a respectable position than Florida State is.
Fair. Low bar, though. You have to have a vision for change and how the thing is changing. And I think Nina King has been exceptional about that at Duke. I don't think Clemson has that vision, just quite frankly.
I would trust the athletic director.
Who is it now?
Graham Neff.
Yeah, they have a new one. Where was he?
No, he was there.
Okay.
Yeah. He got elevated. I think he got elevated when Radakovich left for Miami.
It happens, man. Every dynasty comes to an end. Their ACC dynasty has come to an end. He can't solve their problems. You're asking a guy who built a mousetrap in a different generation. He is not capable of fixing their problems because he's not capable of changing to what the game is now. To your point about Chad Morris, though, the story of Dabo Swinney, all of the ACC titles, the 2 national championships, do not happen without Chad Morris rescuing that program after they lost in this city to Skip Holtz and South Florida in the fucking Meineke Car Care Bowl. They went 6-7 in his first full year.
Second full year. Yeah, 2010 is the 6-7 Meineke Car Care.
Okay.
Yeah. And so his ass is on the hot seat.
He's dead. He's gone without going to get Chad Morris and saying, one thing I will always give Dabo credit for, he did the same thing with the coordinator of Venables on the other side of the football after they gave up 1,000 points to West Virginia. It was like, hey, the one thing he has always been really good at is knowing his ego. Hey, are you going to give Chad Morris all the credit for Taj Boyd and whoever else? I don't care.
Yeah.
Clemson wins.
We're good.
You want to give Brent Venables credit for the defense and being the real coach of the team, as I have said before? Go right ahead. I don't care. Clemson wins. I got 2 fucking rings. Like, you want to give them credit? Cool. So he's always been selfless in that way. But yeah, so Clemson, Florida State, aging powers, suing to get out of the league, now just kind of stuck in the league.
Then James Franklin? Am I overvaluing James Franklin?
No.
I think it's a big deal that this guy is in the ACC at a school that the ACC needs to be good.
I agree.
And get out of whatever this old mindset that they were in. And also the other fascinating aspect of it, too, is like I wish Brent Pry were still here for the ACC kickoff event because I would like to know how his...
Speaking of selfless.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to know how his transition went from like, that guy could have gone anywhere else. He's like, I'll go back to being a DC. I'm good.
I think it's great.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think James Franklin is good for the ACC, but talking about being, nothing says we're number 3 like being the safe haven for James Franklin.
I know what you're saying.
There was not a single Big Ten team that was going to hire him.
Yeah.
There was definitely not a single SEC team that was going to hire him. No. I shouldn't say single. Like Purdue probably would have hired him, but
you know what?
He wasn't going to lower himself to Purdue.
James Franklin found a nice Honda Civic hatchback sport touring trim.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I'm going to have a nice fun
can make this work.
I can make this work. I
Hey.
enjoy this car. It's reliable.
His background
sexy.
in the DC Nova area, like he can make that thing work.
He'll make it work.
The question is, how quickly is he going to make it work? How many of those Penn State recruits that he bought over? All these other things. Like, you got to understand, that dude had racks on racks and stacks on stacks at Penn State and still couldn't fucking win because he decided that McSorley, you needed 5 years of Trace McSorley. It's like, no, dude, you need to get a real fucking quarterback. You can't have Micah Parsons and Saquon Barkley running through your program and you're over here and you can't beat like Wisconsin and you can't beat any other top 10 team.
No. They just couldn't beat Ohio State. That he had an Ohio State Michigan problem.
But there were some other years where they were playing other ranked teams where it was like, oh, I can't beat a ranked team. It's like
his James Franklin Penn State era is if we had the 12-team playoff, one of those teams would have gotten hot and gone on a run.
Yeah, maybe the one with Saquon Barkley
and Micah Parsons,
and Godwin or Goodwin.
Chris Godwin, the wide receiver for the Bucs.
All these names. I struggle with them, but they had like 4 fucking pros.
So
they also had Joe Brady at one point. Your boy,
Radio Row.
I know.
And while we're a podcast and we can say whatever we want, there's actual radio shows around here that have FCC rules.
All right.
Well, no, it's only Dave. I mean, and he's not on FCC rules.
Fair point.
Do y'all have a sportsbook partner right now?
We do, DraftKings.
Okay, so DraftKings has win totals matchups.
Okay.
Where you're we did this on Cover 3 today.
I don't even know what that
win
means.
totals matchups. So
I just got a tingle. You could bet Team X will win more games
than another one.
Okay.
So let me sell you on this one. The Penn State Virginia Tech line, which was my number 1 draft pick because I want to track it all year long. The line on the number of regular season games is 2.5. So if you take Virginia Tech plus 2.5, 7-5 against 9-3, that's a Hokies winner.
Yeah. All right. That feels good.
All right.
You want to look at the rest of the board?
We just saw Dave Doeren walk past. He's off to do, and we've chatted with Dave Doeren already, and we'll bring you that conversation here in a little bit. So State's 4, right?
No, Carolina's ahead of State.
Yeah, Bill Belichick year 2.
I think you guys are. That's no.
No.
Disagree.
It's the. You're saying biggest storylines. And
I'm talking about top 5 storylines coming out of the ACC.
Are you saying locally or are you saying nationally?
No, top just out of the ACC.
I am getting asked, when I got asked 7 topics about the ACC on a national show, Bill Belichick fell way short of expectations. What's in store? And then they leave it open-ended.
We know what's in store. It's going to be another mid-ass year for Carolina.
Then you've got the answer.
Okay.
But it is a story.
And the story's done. That's why I think it's really, really low. To me, and look, this is where I start feeling like I'm the one taking crazy pills.
Yeah.
There's zero juice. Zero juice.
Fair.
And I can back that up with data. Okay? I look at the numbers. I know what plays and what does not play. There's no juice to Belichick.
An NFL brain would rather hear that there is no juice than hear about the 6th best ACC team.
Yeah. Sure. I actually think, this is where I disagree. I actually think NC State, and it's already starting, that NC State
dark horse.
NC State, and I heard you guys do this on Cover 3 a couple weeks ago. Not sleeping giant, but it's the classic thing that you love to do. Let's look at the schedule. Let's look at how these things are going to play out. And here's where I can see ... Hey, like props to Fornelli. Last year, called out Virginia.
Yeah.
Okay, Fornelli looked at the schedule of Virginia and said, dude, I'm telling you right now, this is a possibility. And sure enough, they showed up in the freaking championship game, right? Nobody would have thought that. So I do think in a combination with C.J. Bailey coming back as a third year, I'm sure he'll get some NFL looks as well.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And when people start coming around to everybody, we've already discussed SMU, right? Like SMU, you got Miami, and then SMU is the team that you would put after that, or Louisville would be the team.
Louisville is
would be the
a
team
nice
that you do that.
Yeah.
So that's when we get to storyline number 4 here. It's like, okay, well, if we know it's Miami number 1, and yes, you've got SMU as a legitimate college football playoff dark horse, and Louisville could be that surprise as well. Well, who's the team out of the ACC that could also disrupt? And NC State is NC State's the answer,
right?
And I don't know how that ranks below Carolina, other than it's Bill Belichick.
Well,
and here's another Jordan Hudson FOIA request. Like, come on.
Well, hold on. Are you asking me my opinion or just my analysis of the landscape?
Yes, I'm asking your opinion.
Because I think that we've got a real dangerous scenario here with the Wolfpack. I mean,
well, this is where we start tapping into what we know.
Yeah, because Bud was like, guys, I mean, this is not even.
Bud's been driving the bus. Bud, you know better.
Yeah, but Bud's out here. He's like, guys, I think this might be the best power conference draw in the entire country. I mean, guys, I don't know why all of us are not taking NC State to win the ACC championship bracket. Guys, I mean, he is.
No, I know.
He's going hard.
I know.
Todd.
Here's NC State's opportunity presents itself at such a fun point in Dave the 14th. I called him the elder statesman to my buddy Neese, and he started using the Roman numerals. I don't know if that's being used a lot.
Dave the 14th.
Yeah,
I like
Dave
that.
the 14th.
Year 14.
Shout out to Neese. We'll have to credit him on that one. Dave the 14th.
Dave the 14th.
Yes.
I mean, there is some elder statesman. Could you go out on is this a 10-2 season? Maybe
it could be.
It's a schedule and a quarterback. You're always the difference between 7-5 and 9-3. Sometimes is schedule and quarterback.
I mean, is that not NC State's year?
A chip in a chair, baby.
I find that most fascinating.
Yeah.
All right, before we say goodbye to Chip Patterson, CBS Cover 3, what's the thing I am missing? What's coming out of the ACC that we have not discussed? I think we've covered it all.
Yeah, I think we've got the really big ones, especially when you're able to package Clemson and Florida State.
Yeah.
People get a little excited. I've been selling this interesting angle on Louisville. There is a disconnect to me between an outsider that sees 3 straight 9-win seasons, an ACC championship game appearance, and is like, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there's a Louisville fan who watched them lose to Cal at home and who saw them lose at Stanford a year ago. And it's like, guys.
Run Miami, by the way, last year.
And it's
just ran them out of the gym.
If we can get the WTF losses out of our system, we can unlock the next level.
Where have we heard that before?
And that's just a funny, insider, outsider, where I would just say it's a Louisville-specific storyline coming out of the ACC where you're looking even at Louisville's schedule and you're like, man, they got to play Ole Miss week 1. That's like a big statement. Are we effing or not?
Is the quarterback back for Ole Miss? Did he get?
Yeah, Trinidad Chambliss.
They could beat them.
Chip Patterson.
They could beat them.
CBS Sports Cover 3. Check out the podcast. All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Y'all be well.
Housekeeping brought to you by Enovana. You can check them out online at enovana.com. Green cleaning solutions.
If you have mess inside your mansion or trash in your cabana, get it clean with Enovana.
They'll be at the house next week. Just saying. Maybe you've had graduation parties, you've had a bunch of people over, all those types of things, right? You can get the house cleaned. Enovana can do it for you. Speaking of your house, it is your biggest investment. For most people, that is their biggest investment. So sometimes you're going to have to tap into that investment, and that's where our friends at Miller Lending come into play. Hit up Gordon Miller and the crew, 919-447-3377, millerlending.com. I can tell you right now, regardless of what you think about the interest rates, they're a hell of a lot lower than your credit card interest rate. So if you're looking to consolidate debt, get out of a large credit card bill, where you're looking at what, 19% or whatever it might be. I don't even know what credit card.
27, 28.
Is it 27? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a hell of a lot lower.
Yeah. Or just have a conversation for real. Look, man, I'm not going to give you this hard sell or some bullshit online service. I'm just telling you, you want to have a conversation with Austin at Miller Lending. It's going to give you a spreadsheet. You know I love a spreadsheet.
You do love a spreadsheet.
He's literally going to give you a spreadsheet.
Where's my Caleb Wilson? I love this shit.
I love this shit. It's going to give you a spreadsheet. And not only that, he's going to look at your loan right now and say, hey, I got you in a number right now that we can't change, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. And if somebody's willing to leave money on the table for your benefit, that should tell you that they have your best interests at heart.
So hit them up, 919-447-3377, MillerLending.com. Take that thing to close. You'll get a row back from us. Not too shabby.
Yeah, shouts. It's Kevin who recently had closed, and he was looking out for his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So OG Media decided, you're the first person to be selfless and ask for a row back.
I love that.
For your wife, so you
that.
get one as well.
Hey, you got the row back on today. I'm seeing a lot of row back.
I know,
on
but
Radio
remember,
Row. No, we get credit for it.
We do?
I'm taking all
Okay,
credit
we're in
for it.
Charlotte, and our metrics are based in Raleigh, so...
Well, but we have Charlotte listeners.
We do. We try to tell Ben this.
So just
we're no Alabama. We're no Ohio State.
No, but we move.
We're moving units. We're moving
So,
units.
hey, if you're in the Charlotte area and you listen to the podcast, and I know there's a lot of you, use that promo code
OG20.
OG20. Or if you've already used it, you're taking advantage of a sale. Say you heard this on a podcast. That's why you're here. Tell them we sent them, and you're good to go. So hit them up, rowback.com. Use that promo code OG20. And of course, our guy Chris Brassfield Accounting. We are in the middle of July. We got fiscal quarters, fiscal year ends, all these things coming up before you know it. And
a quarter two.
And you're starting to think about taxes. Hey, your bandwidth might be low. So hit up Brassfield Accounting. Again, that's brassfieldaccounting.com. Based in Homer, Alaska, but they do have an office in the RTP. So if you got to bring your actual physical paperwork, they got you. Just go to the RTP. Go to brassfieldaccounting.com. Joining us at ACC Kickoff on the Heister Automotive Group microphone is head coach at NC State, Dave Doeren. Thanks for sitting down. Yeah. We have gifts for you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
But you have to pick one. You only get to pick one.
He's going to do this.
What? Well, maybe we'll. Okay, so I brought a collection of things. You are an appreciator of bourbon.
Yeah.
I know what's in the red Solo cup, so I'm curious where you're going to go with this. You have a bottle of Bland's. This is for the camera.
Okay.
You can choose that.
I was going to show them. I thought he was going to make you do the mystery door.
No. We got a Weller.
Wellers, wow.
Okay.
Red Weller.
Red Weller. We have
Wow.
a Knob Creek Quarter Oak. I've been told this is kind of nice. You got an Eagle Rare.
Okay.
And then finally, now you can pick any one of those. Or you can get the mystery one.
Wow.
What's it going to be? Do you want to know what the mystery one is?
Yeah, hell yeah, I do.
Right.
I mean, what
I feel like this might
not
be
pulling up Jim Beam, or what are we doing?
even better. Ancient H in a plastic jug.
Okay.
This would be a fishing.
This is for the long haul, for the year, or fishing.
Yeah.
So what's it going to be? Which one are you taking?
Rock Gut whiskey right there.
One of these is yours. Which
I'll
one
take
would it
that
be?
Red Weller for sure. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah.
There it is.
Very kind.
I figured the reason why I figured you could use the bourbon, all things considered. I was thinking about this when I was coming to Charlotte. How much of when you first got here to NC State versus where you are today, for lack of a better term, how much more time do you spend on bullshit versus football?
Including this interview? Or what? Yeah.
Yeah, including us.
Yeah, you just kind of have to re-rank what you were supposed to do then compared to what you do now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You guys know I like to coach football.
Right.
I like to mentor my players.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the peripheral stuff for me is not why I got into this. And
Right.
I always say this to my kids, too. There's things that you have to do to get to do what you love to do. And there's more of those things now.
Mm-hmm.
And you grin and bear some of them. But today's a good opportunity to talk about our program,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the work our players are putting in. College football's changed so much, and I was thinking about it because they actually give me a chance to speak today in front of the media. Like before, it was always Q&A, and I didn't get to choose what I was talking about. Today I do.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to do this again after I get up there. But
you're just going to let it rip.
You know, 14 years ago. It's changed a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know, like when I got here, we were able to finally feed our players as much as we want. Like that was the new nugget in college football.
Yes.
We were trying to figure out how we were going to have enough Gatorade or Powerade. And, oh my God, we got to set up snack bars for them. And now we pay our players, you know. And so it's changed so much. But what hasn't changed is the relationship piece you get to have with these guys, man. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
So about that relationship, another rarity these days, you have a quarterback for the third year in a row in CJ Bailey. So we talked to CJ earlier, how did those conversations go from your perspective to keep him here and then also surround him with some new pieces? Because there are some new skill position guys he's going to have to work with, guys he knows, but to build around it.
Well, college athletics is relational, first of all, and it's also transactional. It's both. And when it comes to decision time for these guys, both matter. And trust is a big thing with an athlete. And trust takes time to build. And we've built trust with CJ, with his parents, with the people that he cares about. He trusts us. He trusts the direction of his life at NC State. And just like I've said, I have meat on the bone. He has meat on the bone. He wants to be the quarterback that brought NC State something they haven't had, right?
Yeah.
And leave it in a better place than he found it. And so I have a lot of, respect for him. For sticking it out and doing what he thought was best for him and his family, even though there might have been more money from other places. I'm sure there was. I know there was. But quality of life means something to some people.
Yeah.
And his quality of life in Raleigh is spectacular. He knows that. He's got the whole fan base behind him, and he's excited about the players that are on the team. And we had to go out and find some talent. We lost some talent, and CJ was a part of that. Like, players want to play with good players, and if you're an offensive guy, you want to play with a great quarterback. Unfortunately, when you lose players, sometimes you got to build chemistry. We actually added chemistry, and we were just fortunate that some of these guys that went in the portal were his high school teammates.
Yeah, I was going to say, not only do you get his loyalty, but like you say, the relationships that he's had with Davion and some of the other guys that you brought in. I mean, how do you even put a price on that? And I had said to him, it must be because when he's in high school, every college in the world was there watching Jeremiah Smith. You know what I mean? Like, everyone. You were one of the few that said, no, I want this guy. I want the quarterback. And it feels like that loyalty has been paid back. So you get out of the universe what you put into it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's sweat equity and relationships that pay off. Being there for him through tough times, and being there when nobody was there, when he was 6'6", 160 pounds, and us being able to look at that frame and say, you know what, we can turn that guy into a grown man if he comes and plays for us, and we have.
And that's your MO, it's development. I know that's always been your MO at NC State. So I'll be curious to see where his trajectory is and what you're comfortable with. So where is CJ and Roper now in terms of the playbook, what you're comfortable with in terms of what he calls in that progression to year 3?
Well, now the learning curve's way different. It's CJ and Kurt talking about why. Hey, this is why I'm going to run this play, and this is what I don't like running this play against. And instead of him having to tag a play with look back for Coach Roper to change the play, you can just tell CJ, hey, change it if you don't like it. And CJ has the freedom to do that on certain plays now, and the know-how of when to do it. With the clock management comfortability of, I don't have enough time to do it, or hey, I got time to do this. He understands the matchups in football better, because before it was like survive or die in there for him as a freshman. Like, he was just trying to get through.
I remember.
And now it's way different. The game's slowed down. He can look over and see, hey, I got this wide out on that DB, and he's playing man. I'm going after this dude, you know. And so he's just at a different level of understanding of the offense, and the game's slowed down around him.
You mentioned having to get new players, new playmakers. Defensively, scheme stays the same, but you do have a bunch of new cast of characters back there. How do you feel about where you are defensively?
Well, so last year we went through hell on defense. Injuries with player personnel side, tragedy with Coach Elliott's daughter, and so through that we grew together. Like, we leaned into DJ, helped him. The players did so. We played a lot of freshmen. We had 4 DBs that were freshmen playing against Pitt. So it was a tough stretch there for a while. But now these kids are calloused. They've walked the hot coals. They understand college football. They know what they can't do and what they need to be better at. And then we've recruited some really good players on that side of the football to compete and help us. And now the defensive terminology is the same. The guys know it. They're out there running walkthroughs without the coaches. They know what to do. They know all the adjustments. And we know what we have and what we have to get better at. Like, we have to rush the passer better. We have to get more pressure on the quarterback. We have to get off the field on third down better. Like, we know what the problems are. Now it's up to us to go make them better.
I was because when we talked to you last year, I was curious about your comfort level of what you're used to having at NC State and what you want at NC State versus what kind of looked like it was going to be the case, more offensive driven, right? Do you feel like, as you mentioned, all the things that you went through last year and knowing each other better, do you feel you're going to have more balance this year? Like, are you going to be comfortable with the offensive output you put out last year in combination with a better defense this year?
Well, that would be what we hope for right there. Yeah, absolutely. And, over the years, we've been able to punt the football and feel good about that.
Yeah.
Because our defense was going to hold people. And couldn't say that a couple years ago. We struggled at times. And, last year we had our games where we played really well. We played good in spurts. Had a few games where we played great the whole time. Had a few games where we didn't play well at all.
Yeah.
Just being consistent, and having an identity again. Defensively, and I think that's something we look forward to, and I know our kids are ready to prove that. We got to earn that, first of all. We can talk about it all we want. We got to go out there and earn that.
You do your best work when people underestimate you, or maybe even say, they're not going to be any good. Where do you feel like the wind is blowing this year? And when you have a player like CJ, there's kind of a natural tendency for people to give you more credit or think more of you. Where do you feel like the wind's blowing on this team?
It's hard for me to say. I've paid less and less attention to what people say about our program the longer I've been here, for whatever reason.
You haven't heard anything new by now.
Yeah, and I think it's harder and harder for media to predict the outcomes of seasons because rosters flip so fast now. Like, the preseason rankings are so meaningless because no one knows what Cal's roster is going to be like when you got a new coach with all the new players, right? Like, so I don't worry about a whole lot of that. I've seen different things that, we're going to finish 11th or 9th, and I just laugh. Like, hey, we got to go out there and put the ball down and earn it.
Yeah.
And our kids know that. We got to go prove ourselves.
Oh, well, you could tell that story of beating Mendoza.
Yeah.
And Cal, guy's number 1 overall pick, leads the team. You don't, like you just said.
Know. You don't know.
How are you supposed to know any of this?
You don't even know where your week 0 is going to be. Well, actually, now you do. So it's all up in the air, man.
Yeah.
You kind of bummed out about the Brazil thing?
Partly yes, partly no. Like, there's the life experience bummed out completely. The travel, not at all.
Yeah.
The logistics were a nightmare.
It felt like that was going to be a nightmare for you guys.
So it just didn't come together. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, there's some positives. A 4-hour trip compared to 10-hour flight, a lot better.
But hey, if you want to give the players a taste of Brazil, I'm pretty sure there's a Brazilian steakhouse not too far from the stadium.
Yeah, we'll probably do that during training camp.
I don't know, man. I just think that unlimited steak on a sword might lead to I don't know. It just feels like you might have a sluggish practice after that.
You're 14. Is this the first time you've opened up with an ACC opponent?
Could be.
Yeah.
And a week 0, no less.
Yeah.
First week 0.
Yeah, it's your first week 0.
Yeah.
Which I know you've been wanting.
And there's not a lot of firsts for you.
No, next year we open with Clemson, so we'll have back-to-back openers this way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we did give him a first. We're the first Radio Row participant to give him bourbon.
We got that. He earned
by far, you guys, hands down.
That's in lieu of you being able to punch me or choke me.
No, dude, we're good. We've already been through all that. We're good.
Dave Doeren, NC State head coach. Good luck. We'll talk to you later.
Appreciate you guys. Go Pack.
Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone at ACC Kickoff is quarterback for NC State in a sharp as hell red suit. CJ Bailey hanging out with us right now.
Appreciate it.
I was never that skinny at any point in my life.
Never.
I just want you to know.
Never.
I was also never 6'5", so not to sell you short. You might be a little bit taller than that.
All right, so you got a guy? Or is that off? That's not off the rack.
No, I have a guy.
You got a guy.
I have a guy, for sure.
Okay, you have to have a guy.
Yeah.
All right, man. So year 3. So look,
I mean, you're here.
Yeah.
And you're here.
Come on. Come on.
But you never entered the portal.
No.
So how does that work?
I always wanted to be in Raleigh. Like I always say it over and over. Like I love the city of Raleigh. I love the people. I love the coaching. I love everything about it. And I just grew there. Like that's my home.
Yeah. But you also, you're here now, right? This is year 3. But you're also doing a little recruiting as well, right? I think we can call it that.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
In the best possible way. Most harmless, legal way possible.
I think what fans tend to forget is that y'all know each other.
Yeah.
Y'all come up at the same time. You're all on the same circuit, man. 7-on-7 high schools in Florida. Look, I grew up in Boca Raton, so I know that whole high school area circuit is crazy. So you guys stay in contact with each other and things like that. So how was this off season? Like, how do those kind of conversations go when you just kind of say, "Hey, what's up with you? How are things around?" Like, how does that go for you?
Yeah, it was more of a fun off season for me, to be honest. Like compared from my sophomore year and my freshman year, like this off season was a little bit different for me in terms of. How you said, like I wanted to get guys to come play with me, so I called my guys.
Yeah,
it was different. I just called my guys and got them up here, but it was different. Like they demanded more from me, especially this off season, and I was willing to take it on.
So this is also year 2 with Roper as your offensive coordinator. So in terms of the implementation of the system that you want to run, what they want to run, what would you say the percentage is of what you were doing last year versus maybe a much more full complement of the playbook that you might see this year? How does that go?
It's very different. Like this past spring, if you guys would have saw it, it was amazing. Like what I was able to do and what Coach allowed me to do was very different, and I literally could run the whole offense, call every play.
Okay.
Literally, like we go into a period, he could let me call the whole rack. I call the whole 2-minute drill or whatever case may be. But like we're on the same page. Like whatever I want or wherever he want, we always make sure it mesh.
Okay.
Like he always asks, do you want this first or like it's different. Like it's a different feeling this year, and like I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it all.
So I'm going to bring up the Miami game in a positive way first, okay? Your parents, they go to every game, okay? And I remember, because obviously not a great game, but everyone was talking about, oh man, CJ Baylor's going to be Miami's quarterback next year. Your parents were at that game, and I had a lot of friends at the game too, and your parents were telling my friends, no, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And everyone kept saying, no, man, he wants to go back home, or maybe he wants to go to Ohio State, he wants to do whatever. And your parents made no bones about it. Like, no, he's going to play here. He's going to be here. I got to think that when you're at Chaminade Madonna, and I'm going to curse just so not to catch you off guard here. Every fucking coach in the country went and watched Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
How many offered you besides Dave Doeren?
7.
7. But Dave was an early mover and showed some early commitment to you. I gotta believe, knowing just this much about your parents as I know, that was probably instilled in you. Like, hey, this guy showed faith in you, believed in you, and wanted you, and wasn't necessary. Look, let's not kid ourselves. There's an NIL deal in place for you. Look at the suit, but there's still something to that loyalty, because that's had to be something. He showed the first loyalty to you and the interest in you. That had to be something. That's why you're here in year 3 without trying to put words in your mouth.
No, he's exactly right. Like he poured a lot into me. Like he literally was the only coach that literally sat there and believed in me. Like said that they wanted me. Like all I could do is pay back that loyalty. And these fans in Raleigh is the same way. Like they're so loyal to me, and I don't want to do anything to mess that up. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm glad to be in Raleigh. I'm glad to be with those coaches, and I'm ready to move forward.
Your high school team was pretty good.
Yeah, they were really good. They was the best we were the best in the country.
I mean,
ever.
It's rare that you would say to a high school player, like, what was it like not, going from playing with so many good players, and obviously college is a different level, but it almost felt like you probably had to make an adjustment to college the other way. Like, oh, now wait a second, where is this Jeremiah guy? I don't, I mean, let's face it, he was pretty special as a true freshman.
Yeah, he was really special. He was an unbelievable kid, and we grew up together, and we always seen it from when we was younger. So like every time y'all see like these one hand crazy catches, it's like, bro, he did way crazier things in practice.
Like, that's middle school.
Like we've been seeing it, so like, but But on the other hand, like we had a great team. Like we really built a good team. So I felt like that team was so good. Like we played a lot of good competition as well. So when we got to college, it prepared all of us.
Yeah.
You know, so like we was ready for the stage.
And you were able to successfully get some of your teammates to join this year. Davion, I thought, was a guy at Carolina last year. I expected to see more of him last year. I feel like we could see some more of him in this
You're going to
offense.
see a lot of him this year, and him and Duke is going to be a 1-2 punch.
Okay. How'd that conversation with Gauss go? Like, was it, you were Carter Finley. You saw what happened. Why don't you come do this? Is that how that went?
It's crazy because, like, every year, it's just like, bro, you need to be here. Like, I'm North Carolina, UNC, whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, like, he just saw his future ahead of him.
Yeah.
And, he just came here, and he wanted to be back with his brothers. And, let's go work out for him.
So who is the guy this year so far in whether it was the spring or what you're looking forward to now here leading up to the season? Like, who's making it easy for you? Like, who do you know? Like, I mean, I could just put it up there and we're good.
Yeah, you lost some of your guys.
You lost some guys. So
Jolie was a little bit of a security blanket, right?
Who's the guy now?
It's crazy that I can't honestly just say who's the guy. Like, it's multiple guys, especially in our receiver room, you can throw it up and they're going to make a play. You could throw, especially, you give the ball to Victor Snow on a bubble or a slant, he will make so much happen. But if you say who's the guy, we got multiple receivers, multiple big guys. Like, we're bigger in our room like this year. So, like, I could put it up to literally anyone. Like, Davion Doeren he's really good. He's really good. And Josiah Trade, of course, that's my guy. He's really good. So I can't really give you a guy. You know what I'm saying? So,
that's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, it's a great problem. Like, it's gonna be good to see how I spread it around to all of those guys, though.
What was your reaction when the Brazil trip was canceled?
Yeah, that did hurt.
It would have been different, right?
Yeah, it would have been a great experience for us. But things don't go like it don't always go what you plan. So coming in to play Virginia at their home, it might be even better. Like,
yeah.
I feel like I love away games a tiny bit more than home games because you get to beat the opponent in their house. You know what I'm saying? But our home games is different. That's the only reason I say a tiny bit. Our home
that
games,
Georgia Tech game,
they pack it out.
Come on.
And, oh my gosh.
They were chanting your name.
Yep.
You had the juice going that night. You were running. I'm like, I don't even know CJ does this stuff. Like you were celebrating with the student section. That's what it's all about.
Yeah,
man.
it is. That's college football.
Under the old model, you'd be entering year 3. You're one of the best quarterbacks in the league, in the country. We would all say, okay, he's going to go pro next year. Under this model, though, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you have the ability to make money off your name and play college football, be in a good situation. So I don't know. How do you kind of approach year 3 and kind of knowing that you're getting closer to that ultimate goal of playing in the NFL?
To be honest, like going into year 3 and going to any year, I always just focus on the season. Like I always take my focus to there. I rarely expand my brain to think about the future. Like I'm in the present right now. Like I'm in where I'm at right now. So like majority of the time, I'm always just believing and banking on this year. Like I want to win this year. Like I want to get this team together so we can win the ACC championship. Change, our program narrative. Like a lot of guys don't believe in us right now, and a lot of guys like we have a chip on our shoulder. Every one of those guys in our locker room feels some type of way about like how we been ranked or how people are like. Even though I tell those guys to tune it out, they always hear it. So like it's a chip for them.
Yeah.
And, it's big for us.
That is so Dave Doeren, by the way.
Yeah.
The don't you know what? Disrespect us. Don't rank us.
Yeah.
Do whatever. Bullshit. Like that is so Dave Doeren, man. I could tell you've been around for 3 years now. In that being the case.
We are huge Caleb Wilson fans, the North Carolina now Chicago Bull. He had a list on his phone. I know. But you got to respect game when you see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had a list on his phone of the players who were ranked ahead of him. Is Arch Manning? You have like Arch Manning on a wall somewhere, or some of these other quarterbacks to get more attention than you?
No, not at all.
Not yet.
It's crazy that
got to run your own race.
I was just with all of those guys.
I was going to say you were just at the man camp.
It was like nobody brung it up like nobody made it a competition. Like I see those guys like they're good dudes. Like I generally build a connection with those guys. So like I would never even say something like that. To be
So
honest with you.
but what was the overall, like, there's a lot of hype that comes out of the Manning camp. I mean, you know, when you attend that, you do get to a situation where people start paying more attention to you and things like that. So what was that experience for you in the grand scheme of things to be at Manning camp?
Yeah, it was a great experience. You know, especially my first year that I went, it was great, but it was even better this year. Like it was more hands-on. Like coaches, like a lot of people was like helping me, giving me game, giving me gems. I was watching from other quarterbacks, learning from them as well.
You're also more of a known quantity at this point too, going into the Manning camp this year. So
yeah, and like it just felt different. Like it was just a great place. Like you never get that much good people in one spot for a couple days. Like it's so much good people there, and you know, if I had a chance to go again next year, I would go again.
Nice.
You know, it's just amazing. So.
Nice. So you don't get to go to Brazil. We'll close on this. We appreciate the time. I'm pretty sure there's a Brazilian steakhouse in Charlottesville.
I don't know.
So I'm just saying, like, I mean, it's a week 0 game. You guys have a little bit of time. I don't know, maybe get there earlier, hit the Fogo de Chao, get some meat on a sword.
No,
no, you don't want to do that? I just thought it was a team building event. You know, get that Brazil vibe, right? Maybe not.
Yeah. He's like, we need to win an ACC game to start the year.
Yeah, last thing, it's like, man, it's like, Ovies, I don't need meat sweats on a Saturday, week 0, man. I'm not here for that. That's not what I need. CJ Bailey, NC State quarterback. Hey, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this season.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We continue with the NC State talk. We've got Duke Scott sitting down with us on the Heister Automotive microphone at ACC Kickoff. The bow tie's nice, dude.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
So far, I mean, I don't know, is it a little bit of competition? You see CJ wearing that red suit, you're like, I got to step it up.
Hey, we just got to represent the Wolfpack well. That's our goal, baby. Go Pack.
The red pops for sure. So CJ's been like the focal point so far of today. So what's this offseason been like with him? What do you see out of him?
Oh, he's different. He's a guy. He's working harder than I've ever seen him work. He's like bringing us as leaders together, bringing us along, because we have a mission. We all have the same common goal, that's to be an ACC champ, and he's making sure we feel that. And my job is just to support him every step of the way and lead in my own regard as well.
Offensively, we've seen. We'll talk a lot about CJ, right? But you will have an expanded role this year, and I'm just kind of curious. I'm looking at your legs, like in the most safest way possible, but you have gigantic thighs. Like I'm sitting here, like you're not the tallest dude in the history of the world, right?
Yes, sir.
So like you're sitting next to me, I'm going, how is this guy going to hold up? Oh yeah, then I see your legs. So I'm just kind of curious how you try to prepare and be ready for an expanded role in the offense this year, because you're like a household name for NC State fans now, obviously after the Georgia Tech game, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is we have a great strength staff. Coach Thunder,
yes.
He always tells us step in, don't step up. So I've been pretty much training the whole time, like even in that backseat role, I've been training to be a starter, be ready to take 250 carries, 300 carries if that's what it needs to be. So just having that like mindset and my work ethic, I've just been working for it. And then, of course, I've been taking more seriously recovery stuff. So ice tub, cold tub, or hot tub, and all that good stuff. I'm just making sure my body's prepared for this workload.
What was that? Was that like an out-of-body experience for you, the Georgia Tech game? Like, because you were speaking of being on ice, you were kind of on ice up until that point, and then you know, it was such a magical night for the team, and just kind of CJ was obviously one of the stars that night as well. The fans chanting his name, the whole thing, but it just that had to feel like a movie for you.
Yes, sir. And it's crazy. Like every college game has been an out-of-body experience for me. Like just being here is like a blessing. You know, being in college is a blessing, but that game definitely was something special. It was a game that, like, even when I think about it now, I don't really remember much. I just remember running the ball. I was like, wow, like, you know.
Muscle memory at that point, right?
Exactly.
I was going to say, I believe that's what the kids call flow state. Is that what happens there? You're just in that flow state? Like, I don't know, man. I'm just doing this thing. So I guess the other curiosity that I had, and this is something that we've talked about with CJ and others, we were talking about with Isaiah Shirley too, we adults fret about what you can handle as a player. So what was your off season like? Because it's really easy to be like, you had this breakout, and I'm sure there were some conversations like, hey man, like to Joe's point, you didn't really play a lot until that point. You know, you could do this all year long, right? So what are those conversations like with you, your family, how you go about it, and how it is with your teammates as well? What is an off season like now?
An off season now is just it's a lot of work. It's a constant schedule, and we kind of get into routine of, okay, we're going to live, we're going to meet, we're going to be like better leaders. And that's kind of been the biggest emphasis for me. Like, okay, we know you can play football. We know you can lift all the weights. Now step up as a leader. And that's been the thing that I've been taking the most pride in, trying to be more vocal. That's something that's not really in my like comfort zone, you know? So like I've been kind of expanding my comfort zone in that, being somebody who they can look at to say something when they need to, somebody who can like, you know, make a change if the change is needed. And that's kind of been even CJ's point, like just being a better leader, leading a team and bringing guys up with you.
Now, was that part of the appeal with, you know, like, hey, here's this next step for me, this next challenge for me here at NC State?
Yes, sir. And that was the biggest thing with great guy Hollywood Smothers leaving the room. They were like, look, now it's your room.
Yeah.
Hollywood, you know, he was a great player, great leader, and now it's your room. You got to step up and kind of, you know, lead in the way you would. And of course, I had a behind-the-scenes role with Hollywood even as well, like helping him, of course, making sure. But now it's a whole team-wide thing, not just offense, but offense and defense. And that's kind of what, you know, led to me getting the coveted #1 jersey. And that's a blessing and honor in that regard.
Speaking of things players can handle, CJ makes a choice, come back, be at NC State. Hollywood decided, hey, man, my path is to take a different one. I mean, as a teammate, you can't begrudge any of that at this point, right? Like, we're not – that's more of a fan's mentality to think, oh, I can't believe this guy left for checks notes, Texas, right? Like –
yes, sir.
You know? But you're not sitting here going, oh, man, I hope we play Hollywood Smothers this year so I could show him what a mistake he made, right?
No, sir. And that's the thing, like – I text with Hollywood every so often. I texted him a couple days ago.
Okay.
And I just let him know, like, you know, you're my brother. Like, I love you forever. Like,
yeah.
The amount of time and energy that you put into me to become a better player, become a better human, that's something I'll never forget. Like, you forever have my, you know, honor and gratitude. And he said the same to me. And with that regard, like you said, we're in a revolving door now. So
yes.
I can't. Who am I to say, like, you know, if he gets X amount of money somewhere else, who are we to, like, you know, kind of like,
I ain't trying to get in your pocketbook. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that was a good thing about the portal as well. Like, he kind of told me, like, you know, I'm gonna leave, but I believe in you. Like, and like that's what I'm just still pouring into me, even though we're not necessarily teammates anymore. He's pouring into me, saying, I believe in you. You're gonna have a great season this year. I believe in you, and this you're ready for the moment.
So it's funny, we just got done with the Stanley Cup with the Carolina Hurricanes, right? And everybody talks about their head coach, Rod Brindamore, being this workout freak, and he's still in incredible shape at his age and whatnot. You mentioned Thunder earlier. And again, we remember when he was a player back at NC State and things like that. Does he surprise you with his kind of maniacal attention to detail and, as you said, stepping in? Like, we're gonna do this differently here. You still kind of taking it back. Like, wait a minute now.
So now coming in, it was definitely something that was insane to me. I was like, oh my god. There's like, we have a couple particular rules that we gotta follow. Like, and if we don't, we gotta push a sled, like it's punishment for it.
Yeah.
And that, you know, that breaks us in. That's why we're such a disciplined team that like, you know, that we are. But yeah, even now it'll still give me sometimes like we can't yawn in the weight room. So if I catch myself yawning, I'll like cover my mouth like. Try to take a deep breath, like, don't yawn.
Hold on. What happens if you yawn?
Gotta push. Gotta push the prowler.
Joe Giglio would be
dead.
He'd be dead.
Thunder would have killed me a long time.
He's yawning all the time.
Thunder's the secret weapon, though, man. He's always has. We covered him when he was a player and known him for all these years. One of the great dudes, in addition to being excellent at his job. But, you know, the players develop at NC State. It's not just Dave Doeren. It's the whole staff and everybody that kind of takes care of you guys. Are you disappointed at all that the season doesn't begin in Brazil?
I wouldn't say disappointed. It's like a so what now what mentality, of course. Like, okay, now we got to play in
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville. So it's not a horrible thing. I was looking forward to hooping in, you know,
you were?
Brazil, though. Yeah.
Okay. It's a cool experience, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Nothing against Charlottesville.
Nothing at all. I'm sure that's a great atmosphere. But.
Hey, look, and like I've already made the joke to your coach, like. There is a Brazilian steak joint there in Charlottesville. So if y'all want steaks on swords, like, it's a thing. But I don't know. Although something tells me Thunder would have a lot of pushings of sleds for you to do after some unlimited steak. That would be a problem. That would definitely be a problem.
Yes, sir.
Duke, we appreciate it, man. Have a good season.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone at ACC Kickoff is Isaiah Shirley from NC State. Welcome. To this. What do you think of all this?
Yeah, this is big time. It's awesome to see everybody come together and you know, come here and get ready for the season. I mean, it's my first experience. I'm just kind of going with the flow. Listening to CJ, he's been here. This is the second time, so just going with the flow. But this has been an awesome opportunity. I'm grateful to be able to represent my team.
Is that the first time you saw that suit on CJ?
That is the first time I've seen that suit on CJ.
That thing is...
Let's just say it's CJ.
Very, very. All right, so okay, about that. When you say it's CJ, look, man, it's year 3. He's got more experience, based on, I guess, the limited spring and as you guys get ready for the fall and whatnot. What have you seen in terms of growth already with him?
Maturity level is way up there.
Yeah.
I think he's starting to not just be a young kid that can throw a ball, but he's really turning into a leader that can throw a ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's maturing.
I got you.
And watching him getting older. I mean, I was a freshman. Because he was a mid-year, so I was still a freshman when he came in, and I just remember like seeing a young kid, really uber, talented.
Could whip that thing.
Could whip it. But now it's cool to see him kind of grow into, a man and a leader for us. That's and it's awesome to see.
You were on the inside of this thing, but a lot of people on the outside thought, he played with all these guys down at Miami, or maybe there's any of these other SEC schools, or maybe have some more money.
Yeah.
He's going to be on his way, but it's probably from the inside you knew all along his commitment and where his loyalties were.
Exactly. From the inside, I knew CJ loved NC State, and he came here with a mission and a purpose. And I think I would have been surprised if he would have chose to go somewhere else. That would have surprised me. He loves NC State. He loves his teammates. And he's just a big-time guy overall. So.
Go ahead. I feel like we know more because of CJ.
Yeah.
We know more about you guys offensively than we do defensively. Your side of the world. But what can we expect? There was a lot of learning curve last year. You guys had to throw a lot of people in the secondary that were young and kind of had to learn on the fly, if you will.
No doubt.
Where do you see kind of the defense's identity this year?
I see us getting back to playing that hard, tough together football, that physical, hard-nosed defense that we've been so used to at NC State for the previous years. And I think guys are starting to understand their role, starting to know what to do better, the position. I mean, we were running a new defense. Guys have to learn that, and it takes a lot of reps to get that. But I'm feeling good, even from the spring, how much better we got, and how much better we're getting. And in terms of the leadership, assignments, all that. I'm so excited to see what this defense does, and I'm excited that we're gonna go out there and we're gonna play hard, tough together football, and we're gonna help CJ and the offensive side out, and we're gonna play some complementary football and win a lot of games.
It's interesting. We talked to your head coach, Dave Doeren, earlier, and he said something that stuck out to me in that it was essentially, I'm paraphrasing here, but essentially was, I always felt comfortable punting the ball. Okay. Yeah. The idea that punting is winning. Punting is a play at the end of the day, right? Exactly. I'm going to trust my defense. And it kind of wavered a little bit, obviously, based on that. So, I mean, there's what your coaching staff wants, and there's what you guys want. You guys know what you're capable of. So what's that conversation been like amongst your teammates?
Yeah, well, we want the idea that we have a defense is we want the team runs through us. We want to be the backbone of the defense of the team.
Yeah.
And we want to know when things are not going right, they can always look at the defense, and we're going to stand up. We're going to get a stop, that one more stop that we need. We want to be that, and we have so many guys that want that. They want to feel the team needs us, and if we're not on point, we're not going to have a good football team, which is true. You got to be able to play defense, and a lot of guys want that. I think they feel the urgency of that, and I think that's what's going to be very different from last year to this year.
It's the nature of media days to look at the schedules, look at the rosters, look at the teams, and say, oh, well, somebody has to be this year's Virginia or this year's SMU.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that there are a lot of people picking NC State to be that type of team this year that could potentially end up back here in Charlotte?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe playing Miami for the ACC championship.
I try not to pay too much attention to it, but it seems like a lot of people could be counting us out. And
the other way.
Yeah, the other way, in my opinion. I mean, from what I've seen, the stuff I've heard, it's guys that, they don't think. But that's not about what they think, good or bad, right?
Right.
I mean,
but that's also so NC State.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a talking point, right?
I was going to say, look, we've been doing this a long time. We know that look, Joe and I both went to NC State. We've interviewed Dave Doeren a whole bunch of times.
No doubt.
I know the MO. When it's oh, you didn't think we could do it? All right, we're about to prove you wrong. Dave's out here yelling at Steve Smith on a broadcast. It's that kind of stuff.
We love that, and we love proving people wrong. That's the type of people we are.
Yeah.
That's just how we get down to NC State. And like I said, I'm excited for this team and see what we do.
So one thing I was curious about before we let you go, we look, like I said, we've been doing this for a very, very long time. We've come to a bunch of kickoffs, and there's always a conversation amongst media, coaches, decision makers about what players can handle, what they can or they cannot handle.
Yeah.
We were talking about CJ earlier. Like, CJ had a decision to make, just like you've got decisions to make. There's NIL money flowing in different ways.
Yeah.
And the fear was, 10 years ago when these ideas were coming up, that's how long these conversations have been going. It's like, well,
longer.
The locker room is going to be fractured because money's getting involved, as though the NFL doesn't deal with these types of things, as though you're not going to college to learn these things.
Like Isaiah's not going to play today because CJ Bailey got more than him.
Right? These were all these very weird conversations that people would have. But in the room, what are those off seasons like now?
Yeah, I think for us and what our leaders on our team have tried to do is just keep the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
We're here to play football, and guys are making money. And if you're making something, you're making more than a bunch of great players that came before you. They didn't make anything.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the message that I try to give to guys, and a lot of our leaders is like, hey, like, you're making some money. Are you happy with it? It doesn't matter, because you're here to play football and we're here to win championships. And at the end of the day, if you want to get paid more, you need to play good and win more.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. And I try to tell the guys that, comparison's the thief of all joy. And it really is, and that that's from the Bible, and obviously me being a follower of Christ, that's something I really think about all the time. It's like, at the end of the day, none of this is matter. This world is fleeting, right? And if you take that mindset and have that heavenly lens on it, of that eternal lens, and not this worldly lens of I need now, I need money, all this stuff. It's like, no, how can I be here? Take what I've given, use it as a blessing to serve other people, and I feel like that if we can get more of that in college football, then all these problems will be diminished.
How about in life in general?
Yeah,
heck.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
No, like, honestly, I felt like I had to get
perspective. Oh my gosh,
perspective, and I also I feel like I had to put on my old green polo with my St. Joan of Arc patch on. I felt like I was back at school, learning some stuff.
No, I mean, it's just real, man, and something that's very important to me.
Yeah,
and something that my family has instilled in me, and there's guys on the team that feel the same way. And having your belief in something higher than yourself, it makes all these things that seem cloudy and crazy very clear.
So it's something bigger than yourself, and I guess that gets back to the one pack, one goal. Again, it can be slogans and whatnot, but you got to believe it if you're going to go out there and actually succeed. And I can see where that leadership's coming through. So look, man, all great stuff. I've just always been curious now that we've had a couple of years of this, and you've got a couple of off seasons, and the NIL's a normal thing now. I'm imagining that behind the scenes, it's pretty much normal for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's all that matters.
Yes, just normal. Exactly how you put it. It's not really like a new anymore, and it kind of is what it is.
Isaiah, I appreciate it, man. Good luck this season.
You guys. Thank you guys so much. God bless. Go Pack.
Big thanks to Two Roosters. Check them out online at tworoosters.com. It is July. It is the fan favorites back in the building, which means the OG salty peanut butter fudge is in the house.
OG peanut butter cup. Yeah.
It's very, very good. I would like it if you sold it out at their various stores again, because when we did this last year, we sold it out.
Yeah.
So is there a stand-up in the Person Street location or no?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
We're out of time, man. We got half the month left.
I know.
Let's go. Anyway, in the meantime, head on over to Roosters, get your ice cream. Look, they got great flavors there. There's like a Death by Chocolate brownie that's also pretty good too.
Yeah, there's a couple. The Bischoff cookie with the marshmallows.
May I suggest you combine the Death by Chocolate brownie and the OG peanut butter cup? That really truly hits.
It is a combo platter.
So go to Two Roosters. Say, hey, I want that OG action, and they will do it for you. tworoosters.com. I'm sorry, is that too much? OG action. You know what? How about we just do like a whole night out type of thing? Before you go to Two Roosters, that Person Street location, as I mentioned, you can go to Longleaf Swine. Check them out, longleafswine.com. They got specials all the time.
Yeah.
Highly recommend I think it's on a Thursday night, they do the steak fritz. Highly recommend the steak fritz night.
So good.
It is fantastic. All sorts of great stuff.
They do a mac and cheese bowl that has like a smoked either pork or
lamb,
rib, or a smoked lamb, or the chicken. They also added the half chickens to the menu, which so good.
And of course, they'll have OG Light and OG Lime when it's back on the menu, which will be in August. So longleafswine.com. Although I found out with OG Light and OG Lime, did you know that Dorothea Dix has a bar?
No.
At the whatever like cottage bar or whatever it is, they have OG Light and OG Lime. I don't know how it got there, but they have it. Okay. So I believe those are like the last cans out in the wild, as I've come to find out. So
And we kicked the keg at the local in Apex.
Oh, did we?
Yep. That afternoon.
I love it.
Yep.
I love that we did that. Butcher's Market. We're talking about all these meats. Maybe you're inspired to do your own thing. Go to the Butcher's Market. They got it. Although where Butcher's Market really comes through in the clutch, especially this time of the year where like I'm out at ACC Kickoff and like hockey's about to start back up for the kid, all these things. You know, it's really great. A frozen meal you just stick in the oven for 90 minutes and it's ready to go, man.
On your way.
It's fantastic stuff. I had the manicotti last time. It's really delicious. So head on over to the Butcher's Market. Yes, they've got burgers. Yes, they've got cuts of meat. Yes, they got great sides. I pointed out that at least at the Falls location, they've got the tortilla chips, sturdy tortilla chips. They're not going to fall apart in the salsa. And they got great salsa too. It's all there at the Butcher's Market. So check them out, thebutchersmarkets.com. And while you're outside grilling, the last thing you want to deal with is mosquitoes. That's going to ruin your enjoyment of hanging out. So you know what you do? You hit up Mosquito Authority and Pest Authority. You can save with bugsbite.com by doing the total home protection.
Yes.
You can combine the outside and the inside of your house for one low monthly subscription, right down to termite traps.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a big part of it, actually.
So hit them up, bugsbite.com. Joining us on the Heister Automotive Group microphone at ACC Kickoff is Michael Strickland. He is the Senior Vice President of Football Commissioner. Like they got like a fancier name.
It sounds fancier than it actually is.
How about this? Can you be Chief Tiebreaker Rules Analyst for me
for the next 10 minutes? Sure thing.
Now I will say this up front. I did not think that last year and what happened was this catastrophic event that some people made it out to be. I'm sure that you guys did some calculations behind the scenes. If you ran that season 100 times, how many times does that happen, do you think?
Less often than not.
Right. But this is the world we live in, so you have to act. You guys spent this offseason deciding to do something new. There was a lot of stuff. Like I read over it, I was like, okay, that's a lot of stuff. Can you bottom line it as to what exactly fans can expect with these new tiebreakers should it get to something like this again?
Sure. We needed to address in particular our change from last year to this year with the number of conference games that are being played.
Yes.
So moving to 9, and we know that from a math perspective, we're going to have at least one team that plays 8 every year. We got 5 this year and then 1 thereafter. So a guiding principle was we wanted a tiebreaker policy that would neither hurt nor harm a team based upon the number of games that they play.
Okay.
So we had to come up with a mathematical solve for that. Basically, the baseball equivalent of being a half a game back in the standings.
Okay.
So we needed to account for that. And then we needed to better address for the membership the realities of being a 17-team league and the number of teams that could be tied with one another that didn't all play one another.
Okay.
And so we used a math and data-driven process to ultimately get to the decision that the steps that we had in there last year got down to non-head-to-head based minimal number of games.
Okay.
Like a random game against Louisville was the 0.1% difference.
Okay.
that made the decision, and that just didn't seem to fit what people were looking for. And it was complicated. It was hard to follow, and so we wanted to streamline it for everyone's benefit. So we cleaned it up quite a bit. We got head-to-head results. If it's 3 teams or more that are tied, they all had to play one another. And if they didn't, we're going to go to the national metric that we've chosen that we think is a really good arbiter of the team that has the best overall body of work and is therefore the most deserving and best team out of that collection of tied teams that did not play one another on the field.
To be clear, you didn't create this metric.
It's not
your formula.
But it's not. We happily subscribe to it.
Okay.
And
it's called the Team Success Ranking.
That's correct. It comes from a group called Sportsness Analytics, who is also the official statistics vendor of the CFP Selection Committee.
Okay.
So it's a very well vetted metric, very highly regarded. It's proven itself we've been a subscriber for 10 years.
Okay.
And we feel really good that it's going to be a good resource for us to to use.
What are some of the factors in the team success ranking if you're allowed to share such information?
They've studied decades of football results, and they've identified 11 key metrics that are inextricably linked with historical performance of high-performing football teams.
Okay. What I'm getting at is we're not getting this body clock nonsense or some of the other excuses that have been given for reasons for or against.
No, but there was a team. Remember, I think it was Clemson, Notre Dame. One team it rained on.
But not
it didn't rain on the other team. Yeah, I remember that one.
As far as I know, and I've dug deep into this algorithm, it does not take rain into consideration.
Good. Okay.
So if that makes you feel better about our decision, then all the better.
I guess to put it a little bit more bluntly, with basketball, in basketball we're used to these things. We talk about Ken Pom, we talk about net. We can bring up Bart Torvik if we want to, right? I guess what I'm getting at, are these publicly available? Like, we know what the numbers are. I can look at Ken Pom, and Ken Pom explains why this number gets spit out. When you're talking about subscribing to something, this seems proprietary.
It is. Okay. But keep in mind, the Sports Source Analytics team rating score, they've changed the name to Team Success Ranking. It's been in our tiebreaker policy for the last 10 years.
Right, that's the other thing, too. That this has been this is not new, per se.
Yeah, it's just moved up the totem pole in the order of priority.
Okay.
And so they agreed 10 years ago that if at the end of the season we need to use it to break our tie, we have their permission to publish it. So it would be.
Now, Ken Pom cost me like $30 a year?
Something like that, yeah.
This doesn't cost $30 a year, does it?
It costs slightly more than that.
Slightly more than that? Okay. OG Media cannot subscribe to this and find out how this works, Joe. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Well, it's just you have a lot of challenges, right? 17 is not an even number. You mentioned having some teams play 9, some teams play 8 conference games. How do you see this moving forward? The 9 and 8 equation, I know there'll only be one team, but we've seen so many non-conference matchups that teams have had to back out of because of the SEC going to 9. It just feels like there's a lot of moving parts on the schedule. Do you just see it kind of settling now here at this 9 level, or how does it kind of go from here?
Oh, I think so. I think people still desire the non-conference, the cross-conference play for many reasons. Historical matchups, crossover rivalries, just having a little bit of mix in your schedule. It's nice to have cross-conference comparison from a resume perspective of the CFP. And so,
hey, Notre Dame, Miami. One of the reasons you guys get Miami in.
It proved to be an important game last season, and it probably will be again this season. But getting to 10 Power 4 games was important for our conference since the others were at 9 plus 1, Big 12 and Big 10. And once the SEC made the decision to go to 9, that took inventory out of the non-conference world. And so we were not going to be able to get to 10 Power 4 games across the entire membership unless we went to 9 conference games. And we think that would have been very detrimental come Selection Sunday, with a 9 or 10 win ACC team's resume being compared against a 9 or 10 win resume of a team from any one of the other 3 leagues. That we needed that strength of schedule.
Moving away from the tiebreakers, like NC State and Virginia were supposed to play in Brazil. That's not happening. It is what it is. But there's an interesting trend in college football, and I'm curious who is pushing this, like the actual international appetite for college football. I get the NFL appetite for international play. So what is the overall goal of these international games? It seems like a good week 0 matchup in Charlottesville with NC State and Virginia is good for fans. It's easy to get to. What is the goal of these international games? What are you hoping to accomplish?
Well, keep in mind that the rules that are always changing in college football, this is the last year where week 0 was restricted in terms of access. So you had to play an international game
to play
or play against Hawaii or one of Hawaii's home opponents to have permission to play in week 0.
That's a lot of money to spend just to play in week 0, though.
But it got you an extra week of practice.
Yeah.
It got you an exclusive broadcast window, which, as you know, better than most, is more important now than ever before.
That's how Georgia Tech ends up with their success initiative, because they were, week 0 matchups that get high ratings.
Absolutely. And the other piece is non-athletics-based institutional alignment with a particular market.
Okay.
Georgia Tech has non-athletics initiatives that are tied to Dublin. That's why they were really intrigued to take the game against Florida State to Dublin. And so we've seen Notre Dame basketball make an announcement they're going to play a game Rome, the Vatican. So you could see things like that making sense, but it's by no means are we pushing this like the NFL is.
Okay.
It's and there may be fewer of them moving forward because week 0 will be opened up for everybody
because of the restrictions going away
starting next season. But we are always open, eyes and ears open to opportunities, and share them with our membership. But nobody in our office is forcing or compelling a school to move a game internationally. It's still at membership discretion to make that decision.
Yeah, the other curiosity I had with that is, as the college football playoff continues to just take all the air out of the room with these things, it's just curious from your perspective, what is a bowl game in 2026? Does it make more sense as a team to skip out on a bowl because all the things that are going on, guys are going to go pro, it's not the game that you wanted, and you're pushing more towards these early kickoff games, if you will? Those kind of become de facto bowls, if you will. Do you see a change, a flip in maybe like a bowl season happens before the season rather than at the end of the season as the college football playoff continues just to become this thing?
Oh, it's oftentimes that the answer is like both is the result. There are certain teams obviously don't want to play in a non-CFP game for a variety of reasons. Iowa State last year was just physically incapable of fielding a team because of the unique circumstances there. But at the same time, 8 million people watched Clemson play Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl. And Penn State had and the coach cried in the post-game interview, but they were so emotional about what that meant to that team and what they had gone through that season. Like, that looked pretty compelling to me. Everybody that was there wanted to be there. Another 7, 8, 9 million people watched the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and Haynes King laid his life on the line again in another thrilling ball game.
I would too for the Pop-Tarts. Let's be real. I mean, come on.
Like, don't forget about those. At the same time, there are certain. So we don't know.
Okay.
And I think it depends upon ultimately how big that CFP field gets. If it goes from 12 to 16, I think you probably got more desire to still have a non-CFP bowl season the way we all know it. If you go to 24, that might make it less likely. Certainly not as deep, I would think, but time will tell, I think.
I do think the Pop-Tarts Bowl really is the future of bowl games. No, I'm being serious. Like, it is a spectacle. And if you have me during the holiday break and I'm watching football, entertain me. And that bowl game has been like that in the Mayo Bowl with the hook of, here your play-by-play guys having all these Mayo things, who's going to get dumped on the mayonnaise. Make it a spectacle. It's fun. Even if there's no, actual college football implications for it. I like the creative thinking about these things. I was just wondering if there was more creative thinking going into the preseason or before you start a season rather than the end of the season.
And neutral site hosts are still out there. There's still opportunities, but there's also a lot of investment that's happening on campus to venues and season ticket packages and suite holders and sponsorships, and so there's just a lot. It's a higher bar now than ever before to clear for a team to be comfortable with from a business perspective, moving a game off campus to a neutral site. And then you've got the competitive equity dynamics. If you feel like that's going to cost you the home field advantage, you got to take that into consideration as well.
What goes into the decision-making process to put the teams either in the Week 0 games or that Labor Day night game? Because now those numbers are so important for these schools, and it's really one of their big chances to pop a TV number.
Yeah, and so we make a big deal, as you know, about our 5 days of ACC football, Labor Day weekend. And with so many non-conference games, there's just so much inventory of games. That's why ESPN and their conference partners have built Labor Day weekend the way that it's been for so many years. As you know, we've owned the Labor Day slot for, I think, two decades. But now we've layered on Thursday, we've layered on Friday. Now they've opened up Sunday afternoon and night on ABC as additional windows because the popularity of college football has continued to grow. And by being partnered with ESPN and the access to ABC, we've got great opportunities. We're proud of the non-conference schedules that we agree to. So we're putting games of merit onto the schedule that ESPN wants to program and as exclusive and high profile of a window as possible. So it works out for everybody, and certainly our schools are more motivated. Commissioner talked about this morning. Pretty good incentive to make what we would view as positive scheduling decisions. It's good for your resume, strength of schedule wise on the CFP front. It's good for the business. It's good for ratings. It's good, and the players want to play against the best.
Yes.
And you hear coaches. I don't think it's coach speak when you play a more noteworthy game in week one. It captures the team's attention throughout summer activities, August practice.
Oh, yeah.
There's a different bite to it, and it's such a springboard opportunity to really launch you for great success.
I need you to settle an internet debate for me.
Oh boy.
As the guy in charge of the Matrix, what are schools allowed to ask for in their conference schedule, and what are they not allowed to ask for? I.e., is NC State's every school gets one request, as I understand?
They get three.
They
get three.
Oh, holy 3 wishes.
Smokes. 3 wishes.
Is that new?
No, it's been that
Always
way.
been 3 wishes.
Since Michael Kelly handed me the list when I took over in January of 2013. It was 3 then. It's still 3 now.
Okay, so what is inbounds in terms of wishes? Obviously, NC State, they don't want to play at home during the state fair, right? Is something like that?
Okay, so that is actually not one of
their
3
wishes?
Hey, the venue not being available due to a concert or a closure, that's just a hard constraint that we can't play at home.
Okay.
And so same thing with Miami. If the Dolphins have a concert, we can't play a game.
Can't play a game.
And we're not going to unduly penalize Miami for a venue conflict that was outside of their ability to control. Types of requests that are acceptable would be, we would prefer to have a home game week 6 because that's when we would like to have homecoming.
Okay.
We would like Parents' Weekend to be this week. We prefer our open date to be in weeks 7 or 8.
Okay.
Things like that.
You can get a good open date, but not the old school Paul Johnson.
I'm glad. That's why
we're playing the option next week. Can we get an open date?
So that's what I was going to say. Since he has remained a friend of the ACC, so I can assure you and Paul, who's in the mountains right now, I'm sure listening, it was never allowed for a school to say, I want my open date before I play Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech.
Okay.
It was never allowed then. It's still not allowed now.
Okay.
Yeah. So no team or opponent specific requests. Nothing that could be interpreted to impact competitive equity.
This might have happened before you had succeeded, Michael, but in terms of opponent, so for a long time, Carolina and Duke ended the season with each other. And then it became probably in everyone's best interest for State and Carolina to end the season together. That's not a request. That's something that the league would decide what's best for us to position our rivalries and how our teams work, or what kind of goes into something like that.
Our culture is still very similar. Commissioner Phillips, it's a collaborative-based culture, and we it's a membership-driven organization, and that decision, that change was made with Commissioner Swafford in the chair, and that was at the request of the membership.
Okay.
So I suppose if the 3 of them came to us and said, "Hey, we'd like to change back," we could consider that. But all 3 of them seem very comfortable with the way that lays out now.
Okay. Before we let you go, you mentioned 2013 when you took over as commissioner for football. How would you go back in time to 2013 and tell Michael Strickland, hey man, you think this is a problem now. You're going to think this is cute by 2026.
What I tell people is that when I took the job, January of 2013, I thought it was intense.
Sure.
That was kindergarten compared to now. But it's still awesome. We are so blessed and fortunate to work in college football. It's still the greatest sport. Notwithstanding all of our issues, there's nothing better.
It always seems like there's a problem, you know?
Which means there's a solution out there.
All right. No, I like that. That. We appreciate the time. One last thing. Replay. We're just getting more? Is that what it is? Because Commissioner Phillips was being coy about it, you're just going to have to watch.
He did, yeah. He mentioned something about cameras and numbers of cameras and camera angles.
Okay.
So I pay attention to that.
Okay. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed.
The camera angles?
The number of cameras, camera angles. Yeah, like there's certain games on certain networks where you just don't have the right number of cameras. Like going back to the octolateral.
Yeah.
There wasn't a camera on that Miami sideline on the visiting. To my knowledge, unless ABC's in town, there ain't a camera over at Duke or Wake or State.
What was the NC State Wake Forest game?
Another example of an ACC network. I'm not trying to put the ACC network under the bus.
It's just the
there's
factor
a reality. Your production value is going to be a little bit different than the primary ABC crew coming in and giving you the full treatment of the Notre Dame Carolina game in Chapel Hill, or the ABC or the ACC championship game in Charlotte. It's just a different setup for you. That's one thing that you say it. That's one thing that the league has to
more cameras.
Yeah,
and then the other is just volume.
Okay,
we're positioning ourselves to do more of what we did last year, and because it enhanced our broadcast.
That was great.
As you know,
transparent.
Most decisions we make, we get heavily criticized for being completely inept at our jobs.
No,
this one got universal praise.
Yeah.
Media, fans, viewers, coaches, players, everybody, officials, everybody.
It's a hot idea when other leagues want to do it.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So no, I thought it was a brilliant idea. Transparency on those matters makes things go away. If you just say what happened, then people will either accept it, and if they don't accept it, amen.
Especially in real time, which you guys have been leaders on, having the camera and microphone in the replay room. This isn't VAR while we're in World Cup mode of FIFA thinking, oh, maybe we do need Miami in the championship game.
In 4 years, maybe that's what you do. You move VAR to the offices, and that's where you do your replay.
We'll make note of that. Just a recommendation.
That's another revenue generator.
We'll tuck that away in the file cabinet.
I know all the leagues are looking for revenue generation. I don't know. FIFA seems to have money. Just a thought. Mike, we appreciate it. Take it easy.
3 wishes feels like a lot, by the way. I would like 3 wishes.
All right, big thanks to Michael Strickland for explaining like I'm 5 tiebreakers and things like that. Now I have to explain to the audience like we're 5. Jimbo Fisher, former Florida State coach, Florida Texas A&M coach, sat down with us, scheduled through the ESPN, and the interview just started. You guys were just having a conversation, and I was already recording, so at that point I'm just kind of like, all right.
He had never met either one of us, didn't know anything about us.
Well, he doesn't remember me. I've actually interviewed Jimbo before, but mind you, this was back in the grand over days of ACC Kickoff. Right? So
he sits down and he says, "Oh, where are you guys from?" I said Raleigh. He said, "Oh, NC State. If they have a chance, you have a chance to be."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "I know this. That's a tough place to play." And then my brain just went,
and off we go.
You just brought up we have never talked before, but man, I have so many questions about the 2012. You said it's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Actually, the 2 games, 10 and 12.
10 and 12.
You had your own butt fumble.
If the guy's wide open in the end zone to win the game. I mean, nobody within. We got in an unbalanced formation. They didn't cover it.
All right, pull the microphone closer to you.
I can remember, and we reversed out, and what happened was we were in unbalanced, so the back veered inside and knocked it right out of Ponder's hand.
Yeah.
That was a really good game that night.
That was an awesome game.
Because the year before was a 45-42 shootout down in Tallahassee.
Yes.
Where Ponder and Russell were going at it both those games. They were great quarterback play in those games.
Dude, the coach's ability, any coach's ability to remember these details like that, like it happened this past Saturday, is wild to me. How do you do it?
This is what you do. I've always been able to do that for some reason. I can tell you when I called plays, what yard line went down, distance, what time on the clock. My players used to hate it.
This is what I get for being an asshole, but I couldn't resist after you said it's a tough place to play. We can talk about 12 if you like.
12. We were up 16-0.
That game was over.
And missed a couple third down shorts, and then you had the last drive in 2 minutes, got a break or two, and won 17-6, and that was no doubt that year. I mean, it was we had controlled it, but we had kicked a couple field goals the first half and didn't score a touchdown or two. We could have got 3. Never got to the 3-score, the
Correct.
17 points.
Correct.
And which you always say this, 2 scores, even if you're down 14-0, it sounds bad, but if you think about it, it's 2 plays.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're a 2-score game. But I had good teams. I have a lot of respect. I always respected going in. It was a hard place to play, man.
I'll save the best question from that game for the pod. For the show.
What are you talking about? The show just started. What are you talking about? Keep it rolling.
Did you in real time? Did you see the big guy, Jake Jams, standing up on the pole, swinging the shirt over his head. Okay. You've seen the meme since then, though, right?
No.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a shirtless, red-headed guy in
Big
the NC
dude.
State, big dude, in the NC State student section from that night. They'll run it on the ACC network.
Yeah.
They'll run it on any sort of like big primetime game. So you did not catch this guy in the corner of your eye. That's what you're telling me.
He was standing behind you, so.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Well, heck, the 14 game, we were down 24-7.
Okay.
We come back and won 55-41 or 39 or 38 or whatever.
Jameis.
Y'all were up three
God, Jay
scores
Boo
up.
was so good in that game, but that was Jacoby Brissett's real coming out party as an NC State
we ran
guy.
it. Carlos Williams had some big plays and big runs in that game, and we ended up coming back. But in Rashad Green, but y'all were up on us big in that game.
Number 9, Carlos Williams. He was a dude. You had so many dudes. That was the thing about.
He was a guy from safety. We moved to running back. 10'5", 235 pounds.
So I was there in 11 when you shut out NC State down at your place.
Mm-hmm.
God, that was one of the most dominant performances I've ever seen in my life.
The other one was 13.
And then 13 was just.
It was 35-0 in the first quarter.
You ran a fake punt. You ran a fake punt. That I go, that motherfucker. That's a payback for 12. That fake punt up 35-0.
You can't forget them, man. That was we scored like it was 35-0 and it was still 5 minutes ago in the first quarter.
Clinical.
It was fun,
So
but
you got the pound of flesh back a little
yeah,
bit. So
exactly. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. The other game we had to come back on was 2016 up there. We had to play late with Francois.
Yes.
And it was a really good game. That was a good game.
Sean Boone dropped the interception.
It was a good game.
In the end zone. Yes.
Again, I need Google for all these things. I don't remember any of this stuff because my memories always shut on stuff like that.
Yeah, most people, Florida State, you're like, yeah, the Miami game or playing Florida, but
NC State
you guys have had some amazing games with
I think
State.
when Chuck went there,
Yeah.
it goes back even before that when they intercepted Winky 6 times.
Yeah.
When Torrey Holt was there.
Yeah.
But
that was Chuck.
And no.
Oh, no, you're right. That was Mike.
That was Mike.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. That was 90. That was 98.
That was
That's
O'Kane, right?
That's right.
No, 98?
98 was okay.
Yeah, 98.
Yeah.
Or
It was the first year Winky was the starter.
And
Yeah.
But then Chuck, Chuck always recruited South Florida, and you always had a lot of Florida guys and South Florida guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they didn't mind playing Florida.
Correct.
And had a little chip on their shoulder. Probably wanted to go to Florida State.
It was like the Louisville-Miami game this year.
I don't mean that as
No. Yeah.
It's guys that recruit, guys. So
how could you resist Chuck in the boots, man? Come on.
Yeah.
The snakeskin boots and all that stuff.
You had some good teams in.
We might as well settle all old scores here. Did you try to get the NC State job at one point in your life? Lee Fowler, did you ever hit up Lee Fowler to succeed, Chuck?
No, when did they call me?
Because this is urban legend that
there was a time. Who was it? They called and asked, and we talked.
You did.
I can't. And if I tell you the year, I'd be lying.
Okay.
If I told you the year, it wasn't when I was at Florida State.
No. This would have been. You were still at LSU, hadn't gotten your first gig
yes,
yet.
I did, and was very. I always think I think the NC State job is a great job. I like that. I tell you what, Red, who was. I don't think his real name. I call him Red so much. He was Phillip Rivers center for 4 years.
Oh, Ted Larson?
No. I can't believe I can't say Red's going to shoot me. I just talked to him yesterday. He was my strength and conditioning coach at A&M and my assistant at A&M. He was Phillip's starting center for
not
4
Kustra.
years. No, it was.
I've gone through the whole.
Now I'm looking this up.
Yeah.
His brother worked for me at Florida State. He came down in the outfield.
Oh.
I cannot believe I can't say his name.
Well, there were Redmond brothers, but they were before.
No, not Red.
Phillip.
I called him Red because he's red-headed.
Red. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
And that's what he played for Chuck
Okay.
when Phillip was there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that.
But he started for 4 years.
Yeah.
During those times. So
Yes.
I think NC State's a really good job. I really do.
So,
I like the area, and I always like this type of people.
So they could be this year's Virginia, you think?
I think they got a chance. I really do.
Yeah, okay.
I think they got. Anytime you got a quarterback like that, like CJ, you're very experienced. You got great skill. I think you're offensive. You got backs. You got receivers. Got a good group. And I think you'll be better. DJ, I think, will do DJ went through a tough year.
Yeah.
See, DJ was on my staff for 3 years at Florida State.
Yeah.
And I think I think they'll be better on defense, and that's what they've always been. That's what they were. They were always so tough on defense. And then you get that, and then I think the schedule lines up just the way it lines up in the year, and get some games, get some wins early. I think they got a chance to have a really good year. I really do.
So I'm curious, now that you're sitting down and you've stepped away from it, you've been in the media side of these things. This is all I've ever known is the media side of
Y'all
things,
are
right?
full of bull.
You're right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I can also flip it back and say coaches are also full of bull too.
Yeah, but you make us. We can't tell you the truth.
But you don't want to tell the truth. That's the thing. So here's what I'm getting at.
We're double secret probation. We got all the information.
See, that's it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So this is where I get frustrated. So like Jim Phillips is up there talking about how Dabo was mad about this and the tampering, and we got to do. I need coaches to come forward. You'll never come forward. Coaches will never come forward. Why?
I mean, in the tampering stuff or what?
Like specifics. I'm trying to remember now.
Because nothing ever gets done.
Because what was it back in the SEC days? Was it Phil Fulmer who basically was like persona non grata because he actually came forward and said, "This is what's happening." And it was like, "Okay, you broke the code."
Well, everybody got mad. I said it about Nick.
You did. You did.
I mean, but I mean, because nothing very rarely ever comes of it.
Okay.
And the part being in defense of the NCAA and this, I will say this.
Okay.
They never had subpoena power. So phone records, things that would actually incriminate you are very hard unless you get actual video of the act. That's about the only way. And then it got down to, do I believe him? And then two lawyers take it to court and
or you need like
forever,
you need like a Chip Kelly situation where there was actually checks involved.
Yeah, things like that. I mean, and it's those things were shaming that, but that was always been part of it. We act like all this new stuff has not been a part of college football for it's in entirety.
And that's where I kind of now you mentioned Nick Saban, and I remember, look, you've been outspoken about these things. I always kind of view it when you are at the podium and you are sending these, I always view them as messages. Mm-hmm. Were those messages for fans? Like as
fans or players, you would send them to players too.
In the idea that, hey, boosters, you don't like this, well, you're going to have to pony up. Nick was the master.
We would send messages to players, to boosters, to media.
Yeah.
You just you always had agenda in how you tried to send something out, and people got it. But even to your own players sometimes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And game messages are weak, and then times you tell your players sometimes, hey, I'm going to say some things about the opponent. Don't believe that.
Don't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean that's the truth. I mean it's all. Listen, the psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Of coaching is the part that no one talks about.
Yeah.
That the truly great ones can manipulate.
Oh well, Lou Holtz was the master of that.
Getting guys to get your players to understand that and do it, and to push them and challenge them in ways, and then love on them and get them to play.
Yeah. Confidence.
Yep.
Get them to believe that they're better than they really are. How do you do it? It's a secret formula, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And it depends on which one you're talking about. Each of them are different.
Yeah,
this is true too. Yeah.
That's the thing too. It's not, they're not a herd mentality. They're not cows and horses.
Yeah,
they all got their own individual thoughts.
As a college coach, were you surprised at all with the struggles that Bill Belichick had last year at North Carolina?
Not really. It's two different games. And I think the recruiting part of it and the connections and the people you got to have, and you know what I mean, that evolve into it. And then I always said this too, Bill, they were so intricate. And I think listen, and here's the funny thing. People want to take away, all right, he didn't win, he's not the guy won 6 Super Bowls.
It's a lot.
He won, how many, 15 division titles in a row? And they say, well, who's greater, him or Brady? Yes. The answer is
yes.
You got to have both. You got to have everything to win.
Yeah.
You gotta, is Nick Saban as good a coach without as good a players? But is Jimmy Johnson as good a coach without better? I mean, that's crazy. But the game is different, and the amount of time you got with them, like you could coach a guy up there all day long, have 3 walkthroughs, and go to practice. In college, you used to get an hour.
Yeah.
And then depending on who your compliance guy is, if he's looking over your shoulder 24 hours a day, and then you had, some guys are wanting to catch you, and you're trying to, I mean, all that matters, man. But I say that not because of his knowledge, but because I think it's a different game, and they come into a roster that wasn't loaded.
I mean, he also turned over like 70 people between the end of spring and the start of fall. I mean, that's
no, you're right. It's 2 totally different games. That's the thing that I don't think people want to give. Like they don't. Maybe they look at college differently, but it is different, straight up. There's
Jim Phillips.
Jim. Hello, Jim.
How are you going to say hello to us, or?
No, he's. Look,
honestly,
come on.
He's like, well, he won a national championship. You too. You just exist. Okay, got it. It's fine. It's fine.
You asked me questions.
Did you enjoy? I'm not asking you to speak out of turn about Bill. Rather, it did seem the college coaches took some zeal out of being able to beat the 6-time Super Bowl champion last year.
Well, I mean, just put it on your resume that you won a game against Bill Belichick.
Yes.
My Lord. I mean, but no, I didn't. I mean, I'm a Belichick fan. I'm being honest. I mean, I loved him as a coach and what he does, and I understand that it's a not a learning curve, but it's a process of building something.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So
would you have had
I'm not relishing in me sitting back saying, "Oh, college ball is as good." No.
But you would have had something cooked up for him. Like Dabo had clearly had something cooked up for him when they went to Chapel Hill, right? Like I got this play, or who was it that like was it Wake Forest that pulled like an actual New England move on him?
No, it was Duke.
No, Duke did it.
Duke ran the Baltimore playoff play with the formation.
That was a great. Yes, they did.
So you, if you were on the other side, you might have cooked something up, right?
If it would have got me a touchdown, that's right.
Jimbo Fisher, ACC Network. We appreciate the time. I know you're doing the car wash here.
That's fine. That's fine.
We appreciate the time as always.
That's whatever. We keep talking. I'm good.
Well, Colin might have some other
This is the
ideas.
most relaxed media days I've ever had.
True.
That's the way to go.
A little bit different than the old days.
We'll break off one Miami question for you then. It did much to when you're at Florida State. Miami's one of your rivals. I'm sure you never really wanted them to get back to being the U.
I ain't gonna lie. We hated Orange. Yeah. You hated Miami, you hated Florida, you hated Clemson.
Yeah. But it does seem like in this post-NIL transfer portal era now, they have seemed to have figured it out.
Yeah.
I feel like them and Duke are the two in the ACC who seemingly have the best infrastructure, all the things around it that are helping them.
I just got asked this question a minute ago about, because the SEC and the Big Ten have such a financial advantage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, how do you got to find an individual or a group of individuals or a business of somehow to supplement that difference. And like you said, Miami's done it and Duke's done it.
Yeah.
And done it in basketball as much as and football. But those two schools have filled that void. You know, and it seems like, I don't know enough about the others, but I know and I've heard stories how, that their structures and their money figures are up there. And if you got to have somebody or a group of somebodies to figure that out for you.
Jimbo Fisher, ACC Network. Appreciate the time. Have fun the rest of the day.
Great, guys.
So I would say that we are in a neighborhood that's going through the process of gentrification for our Airbnb.
Okay.
So you would be, let's say you're a Charlotte listener and you're looking at some of these up and coming neighborhoods. You know who you should contact? Hometown Realty. Hit them up. myhtr.com. Again, that's myhtr.com. Not all of us can be Darren Gant living in the Plaza Midwood area and just within walking distance of, Burial and the Thirsty Beaver and all that kind of stuff. Really gorgeous homes in that Plaza Midwood area. And you're looking to get it on the ground floor of the next up-and-coming area, say in Charlotte or Raleigh or wherever.
The coast.
You know who can help you?
Garner, Fuquay.
Again, Hometown Realty, my HTR. Maybe you want to be closer to Danville, Virginia. I don't know.
We have to add that to the summer tour date now.
You do you. Yeah, I know you do. So hit them up, myhtr.com. Again, that's myhtr.com. Big thanks to Whitaker and Hamer as well. Hopefully, there will be no traffic incidents on the way back. You did not have any on the way up.
Yep, I avoided. So
that's good. That's good.
It's a win, early win.
Proud of you. Proud of you. But also, you know what? ACC Kickoff just started. Who's to say I might not get turned up?
I know
at reception.
So we got to get this done. We'll do it.
Okay.
I got faith in Josh though to handle all those things. Also, any kind of business needs, closing on a home, family law needs,
they got you.
Whitaker and Hamer, wh.lawyer.
Also, big thanks to Matt Davis at State Farm. Check him out, 919-779-8277 at SureGarner.com. Yes, you're going to save money on home and auto. Yes, if you've not thought about those two things in a hot minute, call them. But more importantly, Matt can help you with long-term financial planning, success initiatives, if you will. Theme of the day. He can help you with some success initiatives in 10, 20 years.
Matt's at Royal Birkdale.
Oh, look at him,
I'm
fancy pants.
so insanely jealous.
Look at him.
So insanely jealous.
So hit him up at SureGarner.com, 919-779-8277. And, of course, our friends at Bloom & Blinds. We will be back with more After Darks once the football season starts up. I mean, we got Week 0 After Dark ready to go.
I know.
I'm very excited about this since we have
double whammy.
Since we have NC State and Carolina playing on a Week 0 day. So Bloom and Blinds will be back for another round of After Darks. You can hit them up in the meantime, 919-980-9815. I could use some Bloom and Blinds here at Radio Row.
I think it's gone away for you now.
Given the skylight action. I mean, I know I'm thinning. I know I'm balding, but damn, man.
Don't need the highlight on it.
I don't need the sun shining right on top. I should have brought sunscreen.
Yeah.
Goodness. Or I just hit up Chris and Nico and be like, hey, can you bring me one of those shades? That'd be nice.
They could use some here.
So hit them up, 919-980-9815. OG listeners get 15% off. It's that simple. Just tell them you're an OG listener. You get 15% off. All right, let's get out of here with some Hey Joe. It's always brought to you by our friends at Brassfield Accounting. Again, check them out, brassfieldaccounting.com. Some quick Canes things. We've been all football today, but there has been some Canes news today. No, they haven't done anything with Nikishin. No, there's been no big free agent signing or trade or whatever, or any of that stuff. But we do have a schedule. Yes. And the Canes are going to open up the season on September 29th at 5 o'clock.
Boy, that feels early, but they've added 2 games to the schedule league-wide, and plus they have their 2 games in Finland against Seattle. So, but 5 o'clock, hey, man.
Is that like prime time for you?
Feels like I made the schedule. I mean, I haven't talked to Gary Bettman in a hot minute, but
are they going to do the banner raising on a random-ass Tuesday at 5 o'clock?
They are. Is it Tuesday or Thursday?
It's a Tuesday, I think.
Nice.
I think, September 20th. Anybody can raise a banner on a Tuesday, Joe.
Especially early against Florida.
Well,
the real Cup champions, if you ask some.
Yes, this is true. Yeah, that is a Tuesday on September 29th. But anyway, before we get out of here, you, I guess, read a column from John Canzano. For those who don't know, he's a longtime West Coast, Oregon-based writer. He's got his own newsletter now. He's on his own, doing it like we're doing it.
Yeah. And both of us hired by Dennis. Our original, my boss, Glasgow, at Capitol. He hired John from the newspaper for radio.
I did not know that.
That's how he kind of convinced me.
Oh, okay. Well, look, John's very successful. You, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're stuck with me. So this is now 2 columnists who have essentially kind of put, not Dundon on blast, but just kind of like laid it out for how things are going. And I find them fascinating from the differences in how people view Dundon. We view Dundon here locally from the perspective of their Carolina Hurricanes and the success that's come with Dundon's ownership, with some business Tom chop moves that we understand what he's getting at. But we also know the NHL and the NBA are different. And cities are different, okay? And what works in Raleigh with the city council and Wake County and the state might not work with Portland City Council and the county and the state. And it seems like this seems to be the big issue right now with what to do with where the Trailblazers play.
There's a lot of similarities between markets. There's a lot of similarities between buildings. There's obviously a similarity between the owner. I looked at this, and there was a lot of reporting from John based on the city politics, city council, the city leaders.
Yeah.
The arena leaders saying like, hey, we're trying to have a conversation with the guy. They won't even communicate with us. Essentially what he was saying, the people who he was talking to in Portland were saying is Tom Dundon is acting like someone who wants to move the Portland Trailblazers out of Portland. I read this and I thought to myself, I'm going to give you a hot take right now. I believe Tom Dundon is hurting his Major League Baseball chances by what is happening with his NBA team right now. Because if you move a team out of Portland, a single market team like that has been a anchor in a city that didn't have anything else, okay? That's the equivalent of either the Cleveland Browns being that vilified, or the guy who moved the Colts, Irsay, out of Baltimore, or the ownership that moved out of Seattle. You're putting yourself in that category. Those owners and in those cities, they didn't try to get rewarded with another franchise.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if he ends up moving the team out of Portland, I'm just basing this on what Canzano's reporting.
That's fine.
If he ends up being the owner who moves the team out of Portland, or it's viewed like that, he's not only hurting his Major League Baseball chances, I don't think he will get a Major League Baseball team. Straight up.
Okay. I see what you're saying. What if I told you, I got a hotter take. As it relates to the move, let's not retcon the same fears that existed when Tom took over the Carolina Hurricanes.
It's the same playbook.
Yes. And there was a fear that Tom was going to move the Canes out of Raleigh, go to Dallas or go to freaking Houston or something like that, right? So, to your point, same playbook. What if I told you that I don't really think he wants a baseball team? What if I told you that maybe he's using the big idea of baseball to grease the wheels for other things, real estate-wise, in the state of North Carolina?
Sure.
Right? And that expansion, if you're looking at Tom and market efficiencies and things like that, would paying an expansion fee to then get a new team and start from scratch make a lot of sense for Tom Dundon? What do we know about Tom Dundon? Dundon's all about distressed assets.
Yeah.
So it would make more sense if we're going to talk about moving something. I don't necessarily think it's him moving an established team like the Carolina Hurricanes or the Portland Trailblazers. It could be situations that are already sunk, much like what brought the Carolina Hurricanes to Raleigh. I'm looking at the Chicago White Sox. I'm looking at the Tampa Bay Rays or something like that, right? What I'm getting at is the more and more they've been vague about baseball and the overall plans and all this kind of stuff, and also kind of based on how Major League Baseball seems to be going about this.
Yeah.
In terms of where they're targeting expansion, I'm starting to think that really what Major League Baseball expansion is for Tom Dundon, or the idea of Major League Baseball for Tom Dundon, is simply yet another bargaining chip to get things that he wants real estate play-wise.
By the arena. But he already has all of that. And I think
more, potentially.
I think he has been successful. The pandemic helped him in his negotiation.
Yeah.
And I read the story. It's like, hey, he doesn't want to pay rent. And I'm like,
who does?
But
who does?
But he got that here.
Yes.
And that's who I had texted someone over there today. I'm like, do the people in Portland or the people who cover Portland not realize that all he wants there is what he has here?
Well, that's where we get into, I know that people view Portland as like one of Raleigh's sister cities.
Sure.
Right? You'll hear these stories about how the mayor of Raleigh will go to Portland. The mayor of Raleigh and city leaders will go to Austin, Texas.
Sure.
To kind of get an idea of like, oh, okay, we have some similarities, a little Spider-Man pointing meme, all that kind of stuff. What I can definitively tell you in one way that going back to the CJ Bailey, you and me, we ain't the same. Portland politics are not Raleigh politics.
No, a little bit different.
As much as Raleigh is progressive relative to the rest of the state,
still purple.
It's still purple. Is Portland purple?
No, far
No.
left.
Okay.
I think that's fair assessment of where they are on the political spectrum.
Is Dundon? No. So I think that's the other thing that's at play here. Yeah, you might be trying to run the same playbook, but we're talking about a different team.
Not all
here.
politics are local. Yeah. No, I really do think he's harming his baseball chances with what he's doing in Portland. I'm not sure he sees it, but I think what you're saying makes more sense. He's using baseball almost as a straw man to make sure the arena development goes through the way that he wants it to go through, which starts with, are they ever going to announce the Lenovo Center construction, the Lenovo headquarters construction?
Well,
are they still in stasis on that?
Do you want a hotter take?
Yeah.
None of this happens because he wants a new arena. He's already dropped that on Spit and Chicklets. I'm talking about 10 years from now. So you're going to do all this stuff only to want to build a new arena?
Is there a way for us to talk about the Spit and Chicklets thing without being petty?
Oh, what? That the Spit and Chicklets guys finally realized, wait a minute, did the billionaire put one on for us? And now we're realizing maybe the billionaire isn't one of the boys?
Frank Sinatra? Was it? Flying High in April? Shot down in May. Dude. I mean, they motherfucked that guy in the quickest turnaround that you could possibly do.
It's the difference between national and local.
But I also tell you, hey, man, I'm always going to be honest with you. Whether you like it up front or not, whether your kid looks at a tweet and says, oh, this guy's a bad guy, he doesn't like you. Hey, at least you know where I am, man. And you know where I stand. That's all I'm going to say. I'll never have you on here. I'll watch my language.
Oh, now you're going to start? Now? Okay.
Well, Josh isn't on the air.
Yeah, now. Oh, okay. Yeah, now. Okay, got it. Anyway,
you always know where I stand. Some people like it, some people don't.
This is true.
Right? Will Wade didn't like it, but you never had a guess.
I was going to say, well, with Will Wade, we kind of need more there. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for this day one of ACC Kickoff.
Oh, do you know what my soccer take? You want me to save the soccer take?
Well, is the soccer going on right now?
It is.
I mean, Gold's in the freaking shot. Just standing.
I know. He's enthralled.
I know. That's his true love.
Since we had NC State today, I'll condense it to this. If you want NC State to win the ACC championship, England has to go first.
Yes.
So if England doesn't win this thing, NC State's not coming home.
Okay.
You want the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl?
It's got to be
England's got to go first.
Yeah.
So if you're a Bills fan, you're a State fan. Oh, Toronto Maple Leafs. You want to win the Stanley Cup? Can't happen until England comes home first.
Still 0-0. Okay.
So I'm just telling you what the canary in the coal mine is.
I see it.
If they fly in and Argentina, shoots them down, then I got bad news for you. You can scratch those ACC championship tickets for the Wolfpack, your Super Bowl tickets for the Bills, or your Stanley Cup tickets for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for ACC Kickoff Day 1. We will see you tomorrow. We are scheduled to talk to ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, and it will also be a very special OG and Friends. West Durham will drop on by tomorrow. West Durham, Roddy. It's going to be joining us. Mac Lane's going to hang out with us as well. And your guy, Bill O'Brien.
Oh, I love Bill O'Brien.
So just your goal is to get Bill O'Brien to laugh, and we'll go from there. And yes, we
might be harder this year.
Things might be scary hours up in Chestnut Hill, man. Scary hours. All right, we'll see you tomorrow from Charlotte.